North Loop got a crash going northbound right there at the northern split. B&A a crash, Donaldson Pike just north of I-40. And getting quite a bit of backup now northbound 65 to go eastbound on 440. I'm Ken Weaver.
Well, hello there, campers. I hope you did not forget your booties because it's cold out there today.
Yeah.
It's cold out there every day. What is this, Miami Beach? Hey, it's the Matt Murphy Radio Show. We're underway for another day. It is Monday, March 16, and we got lots to get into and lots to do on this episode 998. Yeah, that's right. It's episode 1000 week on the Matt Murphy Show, and we'll be celebrating all week long. We'll be doing so in the bitter cold, however, because it feels like it. I'm told that while it is 35 degrees outside or 36 degrees outside, it feels much colder than that. To me, feels more like 40. But that's just me. But they don't report what it feels like to me. Now, do they? They report what it feels like to somebody else that's not named Matt Murphy, and that's why I hate the real feels on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Thank you very much.
But Ken Weaver, what are the real feels?
Oh, jeez. Yeah, Ken, why don't you tell Jackson how he feels about the weather? Would you do that for me, Ken? Hello, Ken. How are you before you do that?
How about you, boys?
What is going on over there in News Closet B, my friend?
Oh, I'm just trying to stay awake, Brother Murphy. It was a late night last night.
We were on late duty last evening. We're going to talk about that as we begin the show today. For those who missed it, we were here for you in case you need us. We're always here for you. Jackson was not here for anybody. Apparently, Jackson flushed his. Apparently, Jackson is honoring the Sabbath by refusing to answer his telephone on Sundays. Now, that's a third-party story that I learned from someone else. I've heard it from other people. This is vicious rumor and gossip. Jackson, any comment on the story?
I'm not even going to dignify that with a response.
You need to run for public office.
You do, Brother Jackson.
You need to run for something. That's pretty good. That's exactly right.
Oh,
that's exactly this. No, here's what I would add, Jackson. You ready? Do this one. That is a scurrilous accusation that I will not dignify with a response.
And we were focusing on making listeners' lives better and more affordable.
Dang. Are you sure you're not on a city council somewhere?
I might be.
That sounds pretty good.
Oh.
That's a fetching lid you're wearing there. I hope people can see it. I like that.
Not yet.
Your mom and dad buy you that at the Floribama?
They did, and there's a little prize coming for y'all for the 1000th show.
Really?
All right.
All right. I love that. We'll take all the prizes we can get. How about that?
What is that hat, Brother Jackson?
It is a Floribama hat. It is a restaurant establishment in Pensacola, Florida.
I don't know that I would.
Hey, I've eaten there.
Well, I've eaten there too. I don't know that I would call it a restaurant.
Hey, I've eaten. Hey, I've had the food. It's not bad.
I'd call it a dive bar where you can get something to fill the stomach before you. Ken, if you've never been to the Floribama, it is most advised that you go. It is an experience unlike any other.
I'm going to have to go to that.
It is incredible. It's my favorite bar.
It is a dive joint that it became really popular, so they just started adding to it.
Yeah, it's got like 6 floors now. It's insane.
They used to have those 18-wheeler like truck. What do you call those? Shipping containers. Mm-hmm. That they would have shipping containers outside of the facility to hold all of the stuff because they had overrun the facility with. It's right there on the beach there, Ken, on the Florida-Alabama line.
Florida-Alabama line.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they have the mullet toss every year. You know what that is?
Tossing somebody by their hair?
Well, no, it's close. They toss mullets. They toss over the line. I think from I think it's from Alabama to Florida, but I could have that backwards. It's only one of two ways. But yeah, they do a mullet toss, and you toss mullet.
It's a fish, right?
Yeah, that is a fish. Yes, Jackson.
Okay, yeah, the fish.
Also a popular hairdo from the 1970s, making a comeback.
Is the mullet? No, that's something else.
That's business in the front, party in the back, Brother Weaver.
Yeah, well, I had one, Brother Jackson, back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
I had me a mullet.
Brother Weaver.
I had one like in 2024 before Donald Trump won the election.
Yeah, you did.
I did.
I believe with the beard, Ken is business in the back, party in the front.
Trying to figure out what that means. Party in the front, business in the back. That's like a whorehouse, isn't it? Isn't that like a whorehouse? I mean, that would be a whorehouse.
Yeah, because the accountant's in the back.
Well, I mean, yeah, where we're making our money, our business is in the back.
Oh, man.
Anyway, that's how we're starting the show this Monday.
Yes. Oh, 311, and we're already getting what's that?
I hope we make it to 1,000. I do. I'm excited. I mean, I got to tell you, I mean, I try not to get too sappy or soppy or sentimental, maudlin, if you will, but my goodness, I remember getting to Nashville. I remember the nervous trepidation that I came into this city with. I remember meeting the likes of the incredible Ken Weaver and others at the radio station and settling in to noon to 3 and enjoying myself so much. And then eventually, upon the retirement of Brian Wilson, getting the opportunity to slide into a seat that has been occupied by some of the greats in our business, like Brian Wilson and obviously like the late, great Phil Valentine. It has been an absolute pleasure. I know I've ticked a bunch of you off. I'm not going to, I hope I've pleased some of you along the way. I think that's the case. I have just enjoyed immensely getting to know Brother Ken Weaver.
I've been enjoying immensely getting to know you boys.
I mean, it has been such a pleasure working with a pro like yourself.
Well, same here, Brother Murphy.
And Jackson's also here, and which is nice.
I've loved getting to know Weaver.
Look.
I've gotten to know you a little too well.
You think? You watch your movie this weekend?
No, and I know you didn't either.
I did not.
We texted last night at about 12:30.
We forgave each other.
We were like, "Hey, man, I haven't watched the movie. You haven't watched the movie. Let's push it to Tuesday, brother."
So we do the Matt Murphy movie mayhem on these Fridays, and Jackson texted me last night, and he goes, "Hey, you seeing this weather?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm on the radio right now. I don't know if you." And he goes, "Oh yeah, that makes sense." And he's like, "I think one's coming toward me."
Well, I saw on the weather, they were like, the heaviest part of the storm is right over Mount Pleasant.
Yeah, I mean, there was a minute. There was a minute there where I'm looking outside and the trees are bending sideways and the sirens are going off. And I had to tell everybody on the radio, hey, y'all, I got to go take care of a couple things just in case. And so I had to go make haste and, as they say, batten down the hatches.
Had to batten down the hatches, Brother Murphy.
Yep. I mean, I know y'all have had to do that in Murfreesboro a time or two when you've been on the radio.
Well, at one point last night, whenever, you went off, you were speaking and all of a sudden you were off. And so I was looking at Mount Pleasant on the radar at the time, and there were so many lightning strikes, you couldn't see the intensity of the rain on the radar.
Yeah.
It was covered by lightning strikes. And I said, well, that's what happened to Brother Murphy.
Well, let me tell you, I blipped a couple of times, came right back on. Very pleased with Mount Pleasant Electrical Service. Thank you to the MPES. We appreciate you guys. I don't know how many ultimately lost power. I think it was around 10,000 total in the metro area, but hopefully everybody's safe and sound now. But I did, Ken, drive through, intentionally rode up 412. We were talking about 412 last night where we thought there might be a tornado touching down.
Right.
And something touched down because there are trees down, baby.
Oh, yeah.
Now, hopefully no property damage there in Murray County.
Yeah, there is.
Well, is there?
Yes, there is.
Well, there you go. So, yeah, there was something that touched down, and I bet you they'll categorize. I mean, they've got this new, what do they call EF0, where it's just barely a tornado, and then they've got the EF1, EF2, or whatnot. But, yeah, there was something going on because there's a lot of trees down between Columbia and Spring Hill. Yep. I drove up toward the Saturn Parkway exit and saw a bunch of trees, a lot of electrical crews getting the work done. But, yeah, Lawrence County took a hit, too. I think that resulted in at least, was it you, Ken, that said 10 homes damaged, something like that, down in Lawrence County, down in South Tennessee?
Yeah, there are homes damaged. I don't know exactly how many, So yes, sir. There are homes damaged in Lawrence County, and there are homes damaged in Murray County.
Okay. Yeah, well, but hopefully nobody got hurt, and that's the whole point.
Not hearing anything about injuries.
That's good news. But we were here till, we jumped on about 20 till 10.
Something like that.
And stayed on till just after midnight or right around midnight.
Right before midnight.
Oh, was it?
Yeah,
okay.
well, we signed off at midnight.
And look, as we said last night, we don't mind doing it. We're here for you when we need to be. I, for a long time, I spit the bit on admitting this, but I am fascinated with the weather. I'm fascinated with what Mother Nature brings. I'm fascinated with the dynamics. I don't want anybody to be hurt. I don't want anybody's property to be damaged. I don't want any of that to happen. But I admit I am fascinated with the dynamics that create tornadoes. Because sometimes these nasty storms come through, and the people that know better than me, the meteorologists, say, well, no, we're okay on the tornado front, but, we need to watch straight line winds or whatever. And then sometimes, like last night, they were like, hey, conditions are ripe, and these things could pop up a tornado at any moment. And I'm like, well, how the hell do they know that?
They just do.
And they do. But our technology has gotten such where, and I've long said this, and I understand why they don't necessarily do it, but we really have 3 designations now. When we were kids, we heard about tornado watches. And tornado watches is basically, hey, y'all pay attention over the next couple of days because conditions are favorable for tornadoes. That was it. That's what a tornado watch is, basically. A tornado warning, when we were kids, meant that there's a tornado on the ground and it's tearing crap up. That was it. Tornado watch, tornado warning. Tornado watch, hey, conditions are favorable. Yep. Tornado warning, there is a tornado on the ground.
Yes, sir.
Well, nowadays, things have changed in 40-plus years, and nowadays, radar can pinpoint where that rotation is so much and so precisely that they issue tornado warnings when there's not necessarily a tornado on the ground. What are you smiling about? What are you smiling? What are you doing over there? There's something going on with you over there.
I was just going to say, when you were a kid, I thought you guys used the ancient Mayan sundial. Because you're so old.
I like how he feels the need to add, just in case we didn't get the old joke. He adds because you're so old. Thank you, Jackson.
I couldn't even hide my smile with that one.
This is a beautiful new chapter in my life because for a long, I started talk radio when I was 26 years old. And let me promise you, I was your age.
That was back when radio first got its start.
Uh-huh. Can you imagine Jackson doing a talk show, Ken? I was Jackson's age when I started talk radio.
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and tell you, Jackson and I were 2 very different people at the age of 26. But everyone in the business was older than me. Everyone.
Well, yeah, you were 26.
I was 26. Maybe the occasional producer was younger, but every host was older than me.
You were the youngest, dude.
Yeah. And for a long time, that was the case. And so this is a wonderful new chapter in my life that now I'm getting the old jokes. I used to give the old jokes, my friend. I've given better than you, and I can take better than you. Huh?
That is what's written on the bathroom stall.
Oh, jeez. All right, maybe I can't give better than you. Maybe I'm wrong.
Jackson's loaded for bear on this Monday.
Well, you know why? Because he got plenty of sleep. Because it's my understanding, he didn't even answer the phone yesterday.
Oh.
You got to look. I told him. I told the big bosses because they're like, we couldn't get a hold of Jackson. I told them, y'all don't worry about that. Next time you need Jackson, just give me a call. I'll get old boy on the phone. I'll get old Jay Willie on the phone.
Oh, man.
Or I'll drive over there to the Hermitage Golf Course and figure out where he lives. I don't know exactly where you live, but I bet I could figure it out.
You probably could.
I bet. No, I would just drive onto the golf course screaming your name until somebody came out of the back into the back. Do you live on it?
No.
Do you live near it?
Near it.
Okay. Have you ever seen any sheep?
I worked there for 4 summers, so yes.
You've probably seen a few sheep.
Seen a lot.
They just stay on the one side, right? They don't go on the other side. I was told when I played that one side on the golf course that the sheep have right of way, that don't mess with the sheep.
They go to the other golf course, too.
They go to both?
Yeah, sometimes they're in the parking lot.
Those black sheep.
I got a lot of sheep stories, buddy. I got a lot of weird sheep stories.
I would love it if you would just isolate that. I got a lot of sheep stories, buddy. And some of them have to do with the golf course. You ever pet a sheep?
I've sheared one.
Have you now?
Or I've helped.
Is that what the kids call it?
Yes.
Okay. You've shorn a sheep?
I've helped. I didn't do the shaving, but...
You held?
Yeah.
You comforted the sheep?
Not really comforted.
You just, it'll be okay. Don't you worry, little dolly.
No, you just grab its horns. Pray it doesn't...
And hold on.
Yes.
For dear life. Okay. Well, we've gone places already on the show that I didn't think we would go. I think Ken Weaver's in a I just do the news boys bubble.
Do the news, boys. Yes.
All right, so we've got DHS. The shutdown continues. Why is this not a bigger deal? It's not a bigger deal because the political left and the mainstream media, their minions, do not want it to be a bigger deal. We're going to talk about that today. We're going to talk about where we are with Iran. The media wants to make a huge deal. I mean, they pick and choose what's important and what's not, right? And they oftentimes pick and choose based on their hatred of Donald Trump. As a matter of fact, all the time when it's a national or international news story, they're picking based on their hatred of Donald Trump. We're going to discuss that today. We are going to talk about PBMs. Do you know what a PBM is? A pharmaceutical benefit manager. I think that's the way that we're saying it. I think that's right. I don't know a lot about this situation, and I admit when I don't. I've not been following this story, but I caught up on it a little bit yesterday, and I want to discuss it. A pharmacy benefit manager is different than a pharmacy, which is different than healthcare, which is different than health insurance. And it occurs to me, if I look at this from 50,000 feet, that the government, every time the government tries to fix healthcare, it screws it up worse. Every time. And we've got a government in the state of Tennessee that is attempting to fix something that I don't know is broken. And I fear they're going to screw it up again. And they're doing it so that they can go back to their home districts and talk to these local pharmacies at their home district and tell their local pharmacies that they did the right thing for the local pharmacies. Well, I don't know if it's the right thing or not. I tend to lean on the free market and keeping government out of it. But we're going to talk about it because I'm open to understand this issue better. And I admit that I don't have the full-throated understanding of it. We're going to discuss today on the show on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Of course, your telephone calls on this Monday. You can find us on iHeart, TuneIn, Spotify, our own app, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Then, of course, Talk TV, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Rumble, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and Rumble. Join us, like, and subscribe. Back in a moment on Super Talk. Man, Jackson just spent that entire 30 seconds expressing to me that he did not do anything illicit to the... I mean, nobody accused you of anything, Jackson. The producer doth protest too much, methinks, on the sheep front. Hey, speaking of protesting, if your house is protesting over some certain aspects of what's going on in terms of settlement, you need to call USS, which is United Structural Systems. Friends, USS, they are the best. They are the problem solvers when it comes to issues involving your home and everything around it. They are local, and I absolutely love this. USS started in 1994. And they've helped Tennessee homeowners since that time. More than 30,000 of them have trusted USS. That experience means they've seen just about every type of problem imaginable. They live here, they work here, and they understand exactly how Tennessee soil, weather, and homes behave. They are your local foundation and waterproofing experts. They know what the signs are. They can understand them. They get to them before it becomes a major issue, and they save you a lot of money in that regard. And they engineer solutions that last for you, your home, and your family. Go to USSTN.com. That's the best way to get to them. USSTN.com. Homeowners simply trust USS. Tell them Murphy sent you to United Structural Systems. Have you ever had an insurance company tell you, well, no, you can't do anything about that right now because it's not open enrollment. It's not open enrollment. I don't believe these folks are trying as hard as they should. Shane Ring understands what you can and cannot do, and mostly you can do during open enrollment. Friends, if your premiums are going up in 2026 and you're frustrated about that, if you don't believe you're getting the coverage that you deserve, if you are self-employed, uninsured, or simply tired of paying too much, it is time to call Shane Ring and Cover Nash. They are your personal health care concierge. Here's what Shane does. He sits down with you in his office in Brentwood. They can do it over the phone as well. They'll talk with you about what your current coverage is, if you have any, and what you're looking to get, you know, the number of people in your home, who you're trying to cover, et cetera, et cetera. And Shane's going to ask you a few details about what you're looking to get, and then he's going to go to work for you. And he shops the entire marketplace. He has access to over 75 different plans and programs that can assist you in saving money, paying less, keeping your doctor, keeping the same, doctor and hospital and all of those things, but spending less money on a monthly basis. That's what it's all about at Cover Nash. Go to covernash.com or 615-465-0023, 465-0023 for Cover Nash.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast and traffic coming up in 5 minutes. Right now in Tennessee, U.S. National Weather Service crews surveying storm damage to determine if tornadoes touch down overnight. Channel 4 says Lawrence County was hammered.
Wind just picked up out of nowhere, and then all the windows in the back of the house just shattered. And it's terrible. Debris everywhere, it's just horrible situation.
That man speaking where a brand new double-wide trailer was blown across the street and into a pond in Lawrence County. Operation Epic Fury update. President Trump says the campaign against Iran has been successful.
They have been literally obliterated. The Air Force is gone. The Navy is gone. Many ships have been sunk. They're war-fighting ships, but I guess they didn't know how to use them.
President Trump appealing to other countries to help ensure safe passage in the Strait of Hormuz. The strait has been effectively closed to maritime traffic by Iran. That has caused oil and gasoline prices to soar. Got some big job news today here in Middle Tennessee. Create Energy is ramping up operations and announced a major expansion that will bring 1,000 jobs. The renewable energy manufacturer is investing more than $78 million across Robertson and Sumner counties. Its newly acquired Orlinda facility will handle most production and account for nearly all of the new positions. The company's existing Portland location will see a similar expansion focused on research and global partnerships. No end in sight to the Department of Homeland Security funding standoff. Long lines at airports nationwide getting even worse after TSA agents missed their first full paycheck. ABC's Clara McMichael covers transportation. Set on the Start Here podcast.
These TSA officers haven't gotten full paychecks in over a month, and that has led to some call-outs recently as they've had to pick up some side gigs to earn extra cash. We've seen folks driving for Uber, people have been door dashing. This comes on the tail of another very long government shutdown a couple months ago when they were in the same situation.
Airports from Minneapolis to Atlanta reporting wait times that stretch more than 2 hours at the airport. That's the latest news, traffic, and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. Got a multi-vehicle crash over here by the airport. It's going to be 40 eastbound near mile marker 217. Looks like the eastbound entry ramp is closed and the right shoulder is blocked over there by the airport. That's going to be Donaldson Pike, just north of 40. Also an injury crash, Elm Hill Pike at Arlington Avenue. I'm Ken Weaver.
Tell me how to feel. See? She did it again. It feels 68 to me. Why don't you report on that? Telling me how to feel about all this stuff. I'll tell you, if you don't feel well, I'm not telling you how to feel about anything. But if you've noticed pain in your body, in your knees, in your hips, in your elbows, in your joints, in your shoulders, wherever it might hurt, I've got the solution for you, and it's our fine friends at the Wellness Institute of Nashville. Dr. Mitchell and Dr. Ashley and the rest of the crew over at the Wellness Institute, they want to see you, and they invite you to come in, and they'll talk to you about the importance of, getting regular checkups to make sure that your spine's doing well and all your other joints and everything doing well. And also, they have alternatives to popping pills if you're hurting in your back, especially back pain, but really anywhere on your body. There are available solutions for you. Modern technology is advanced to where spinal decompression is just a must for those with spine pain. You can also do the hydro wave. They're the only place in the state of Tennessee to have the hydro wave, which is pretty insane technology if you think about it. It stimulates your own stem cells in your body to help regenerate tissue, to grow new blood vessels that heals through a process called angiogenesis. That means the pain goes away and you don't have to pop pills and you don't have to take blockers through needles and you don't have to consider surgery. And that is what it's all about. Friends, the 2026 special is ongoing. 47% off non-surgical spinal decompression for the new year. Give them a call today at 615-246-5009. 615-246-5009 or painisbad.com. That's painisbad.com. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hello, friends. Matt Murphy until 7 o'clock, or they yank me off the radio, whichever happens. First, Ken Weaver is one of the reasons that I've yet to be yanked. He's back in News Closet B. He gathers headlines throughout the course of the day and delivers them twice an hour, and when it breaks, Jackson Williams capably making sure that everything that comes out of our speakers sounds as good as humanly possible. It's 37 minutes after the hour. You're invited to be a part of the party, 615-737-9986. Telephone calls are my absolute favorite thing to do. I love interacting with people about the subject matter at hand. We try to stay on subject Monday through Thursday. We open up the thing on Friday, but Monday through Thursday, call about the subjects on the table. Really, I mean, honestly, if you can call about anything, and I'll take your call. But I might make fun of you if you're off topic. Bottom line is this: if you're the shy type, you can also hit us up on the text line, which is a wonderful, fairly new feature that we have. Supertalk 99.7 WTN's text line is 615-737-9986, and you might recall that, or might notice that that's the same number as the telephone number. So you can text or call the show. You can also interact on a variety of social media platforms. For the most part, I am Matt Murphy Show on social media. Find me on Twitter, at Matt Murphy Show, or on the X machine, as I call it. I'm also over there on the Facebook. I'm on the Instagram. I have a TikTok account, but I don't use it. But you can follow me over there. I mean, that's fine. I don't post anything over there. I just watch what the Chinese are doing to us. So all of those platforms are available for you as well. And we appreciate you interacting in the ways that you do. PBM is not peanut butter and marshmallow. PBM is not peanut butter and mayonnaise. That's gross. Or I think that's gross.
You ever had a peanut butter marshmallow sandwich?
I've had a peanut butter and marshmallow sandwich, yes.
You know what it's called?
It's called a PBM.
No, it's called Nutter Fluffer.
Is it now?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Never had a Nutter Fluffer?
I thought that's what you did to the sheep. Now,
You're a sick man.
Despite me...
You're a sick man.
Despite me saying... No, Jackson comes on, and I look, I understand that Jackson... And he's like, I didn't do anything. I'm like, nobody said you did, Jackson. How dare you cast aspersions against my character and good name? You don't have any character or good name. It's okay. No, yes, I know of a Nutter Fluffer. Is that right? Is that how to say it?
Yep.
It's that peanut butter and that marshmallow cream, right?
Yep.
The stuff that comes in the jar.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I've ever had one of those.
You've never had a Nutter Fluffer?
I don't think I have.
Delicious.
I like peanut butter, okay. I like peanut butter if I just get a spoonful of it. But I don't really like peanut butter on things. Crackers, sandwiches. Like, I like it as a standalone, but if you start putting it in stuff, I'm not that big of a fan of peanut butter cookies. Like those snickerdoodle things. No,
that's good stuff, man.
You like it, Ken?
Yeah.
Well, no, different strokes. Once again, I don't make.
You don't make taste a matter of I screwed it up.
I'll do it. I don't make a matter of taste a matter of fact.
Yes, sir.
And people do it all the time, and I blanch at it, right? Like, you say, "Oh man, I love those fries at Wendy's. Those fries at Wendy's are horrible."
The fries at Wendy's are bad.
Well, that's true enough, but I'm just using it as an example. I just said I liked them, so obviously I don't think they're horrible, but you're just declaring that they're horrible. How about you think they're horrible?
But the Wendy's fries are bad. That's a bad analogy.
Somebody out there likes well, maybe not. That might be a bad analogy now that I think about it, because I really don't know of anybody that actually, people put up with Wendy's fries.
Because the burgers are good.
Because the burgers are so delicious. But one way or the other. Fluffer, Nutter. Now see, people want to call you Fluffer. No, we're not giving him another nickname. There's no...
Brother Jackson's got too many names.
Way too many nicknames. Mostly because of your last name. Why are you looking at me that? In that light that you've got going on there, it looks like you have a mustache.
I do.
Like, do you?
He's growing a mustache.
Are you growing one out? Is that what I'm seeing?
A little bit.
I didn't notice it in the light. How's that going for you?
Not great.
I can't really grow. I can't grow any facial hair. I know I constantly have facial hair, but I'm not very good at it. I wish I was better at it.
Take up smoking.
Is that what does it, Ken?
That's what I hear.
Yeah,
Ken smoked one cigarette and his beard grew 3 inches.
In the 4th grade.
Yeah, but it stunted his growth.
Right after I killed that woodpecker.
All right. Now I'm going to need someone to go to AI, to whatever you use, Chat, GPT, Grok, whatever. And I need an image of Ken Weaver with the beard, kind of looking like he does, but as a kid, leaning up against a schoolyard wall, smoking a cigarette with a dead woodpecker and a brick beside him. Can y'all do that for me, please?
Please.
Send it over to the super text line 615-737-9986. So we're looking for Ken Weaver. You know, like he's resting after a hard day of killing woodpeckers.
With my BB gun.
With no, you did it with a brick, I thought. Didn't you?
Well, I had to finish him off with a brick because he was suffering.
Okay, so maybe a brick and a BB gun and a woodpecker.
Yes, sir.
Dead, and then there's Ken, smoking himself a Pall Mall.
You know Weaver's a Marlboro Red guy.
Well, I was, but probably back then I'd have been the Pall Mall.
Yeah.
Because they were kind of exotic back then. Remember, they were brown cigarettes.
Oh, yeah. Sucking down a Chesterfield. That's old school. That's old school.
Yeah, I actually thought those brown cigarettes might taste like chocolate.
Ah, the world before sliced bread.
There was, yeah, Jackson, there was a time when they just blatantly and actively advertised cigarettes to kids.
Absolutely,
they
man.
just, hey, look at this cartoon camel. Ain't he cool?
Yeah.
Wouldn't you want to be a part of this life?
Yeah. Satisfying cigarette.
Oh, yes. Got the, Joe Cool was the name of the camel.
Smoke-filled flavor.
Yeah, and if you want to be cool, like Joe Cool, then, he's got a leather jacket on, and he's smoking them up. Smoke them if you got them. Hey, the Oscars were last night. Anybody watch?
I was watching them off and on, man.
Were you? I caught maybe 4 seconds. Maybe 12.
It was. It is what it was.
I mean, I'm over the award ceremony. But I read this morning that it was, relatively speaking, political free.
Yeah.
Was there some?
Yeah. Conan O'Brien was kind of surprising. He was throwing some political jabs out there, and he kind of strikes me. I don't think he's ever done that.
Yeah.
Last night he was throwing some jabs out there. Some of it kind of juvenile too.
Red meat to the audience, probably.
Right.
Yeah. Just throwing it to the room. I see so few movies nowadays that I'm losing.
Yeah.
I've lost complete interest, and that is, it's just, there's a certain phrase that I use for what happened last night at the Oscars, and I hesitate to use it. I only do it on rare occasion, but it is, it's MMS is the abbreviation, and the first M is mutual, and the last S is society, and there's an M word in the middle, but that's what it is. Why are you looking so confused? You've heard this before. I hesitate to do it because there might be kids in the car. And I don't want to do all that. But they're just sitting around pleasuring themselves. That's what they're doing. It's the MMS. That's what these award shows are. Is it, how awesome are you? Look at how great you are. No, look at how great you are. Oh, my gosh, you're greater than the other two that just came in. Oh, we love, how much do we love us? In the meantime, y'all get on stage and dance, monkey. I mean, seriously, that's all I want you to do. You are a performer that is here to entertain me, and I will pay money to be entertained. I don't want to hear your politics. I don't want to hear how awesome you think you are. They think they are so awesome. And it's so annoying to listen to people that clearly have no concept on planet Earth what the real world is like, explaining to me how the real world ought to be. You people have no clue. And congratulations. You have won the life's lottery. You have a talent set that few people have. You have looks that few people have. And you have it. Now you can enjoy your life free and unencumbered of the worries that average human beings have, like making the rent or making the mortgage or paying the electric bill or getting the kids to school or getting to the grocery store or worrying about gas prices or worrying about the war, worrying about your kids going on. You don't have to worry about any of that crap. You don't have to worry about immigration. You don't have to worry about illegal immigration. You live in ivory towers surrounded by large walls, and you scream from those ivory towers to tear down the walls, all but yours. Screw you. You don't know what you're talking about. And it's not your fault. It's not their fault, Ken. Because they can't possibly understand what people go through on a day-to-day basis because they don't have to.
No, sir.
They have personal assistants that handle any trial or tribulation that comes up in their lives. And look, I'm certain that they have their own set of trials and tribulations and whatever. And I know that money does not necessarily buy or equate to happiness. I know that. But let's not pretend that you understand what average people are going through. You don't. You can't. And recognizing that is the first step in understanding that average people do not care what you think about these issues. Unless you are left as they come, and then suddenly you care because they are validating your own beliefs. Oh, here's a group of people that believe like I do. They know what's going on. No. And if the political left, if the average leftist had any self-awareness about them, you would recognize that the reason that the Hollywood elitists agree with you is because they don't live in the real world. They live in fantasy land. And, I lived in fantasy land for a while. I mean, I did. When I was a teenager and when I was a theater major in college, I thought that the world would be a utopia if we just loved everybody else and treated everyone as we would want to be. I mean, look, the golden rule is a wonderful concept in concept. And if we just treated everybody like we would want to be treated and shower them with love and adoration and appreciation, if we just gave everyone a little bit of a hand up, they would every single one of them would do the right thing. Every single one of them would be good people. Every single one of them would go to work every day and work hard and contribute to society in a proper fashion and not break any laws. And the world would be a utopia. It was Winston Churchill that said, if you are under 30 and conservative, you don't have a heart. If you are over 30 and liberal, you do not have a brain. Jackson, you got 4 years. You're on the clock. No, Jackson's not that liberal. Actually, Jackson is as apolitical a human being as I've ever met in my life, which is part of the reason I like him.
I don't know nothing.
He knows. I told him earlier today, kid, what were we talking about in the office?
Julius Caesar.
Oh.
You guys were talking about Julius Caesar.
Well, kid, I'm going to need you to amend that statement. It wasn't you guys. We're talking about Julius Caesar. Matt started talking about Julius Caesar. And I watched. I said, you know who Julius Caesar is, right? And he goes, yeah, it was that emperor. And I started talking. And Jackson, God, I love Jackson. I'd hug your neck if you're in here. I love you. I watched. Jackson has this thing where he's still looking at you, right, and he's nodding your heads, but you can watch. It's like he has blinds that go down over his eyes.
He can watch the life drain from my eyes as I'm disinterested.
I just watch as he checks out. I just watch him do it. And he's still sitting there, and he's still nodding, but I'm like, he's not hearing a damn thing I'm saying right now. And I love it. I mean, it's good. And so I've learned, it's like, okay, I should just shut up now. And I do.
You pointed out, though, you're like, you're not listening to a word I'm saying. I'm like, nope.
And you're like, and at least he's honest. He's like, no, no. Now, I watched, Ken, I'm going to talk about this later on. I watched this, it was like a 25-minute YouTube thing on Julius Caesar because, yesterday was the Ides of March.
Okay.
The Ides of March, that would be the 15th of March, is when the day that Julius Caesar was assassinated by roughly 60 Roman senators. And in watching this, I realized, I guess I was yesterday years old. I did not know that Julius Caesar was not an emperor. Julius Caesar was the last leader of the Roman Republic before they created that emperor system because the senators killed Caesar. That all of that was interrelated. And that led to the bloody war and the purge that created Emperor Copernicus.
That sounds about right.
Something like that. It was a U.S. It was a Copernicus it wasn't Caligula. Tiberius, maybe? I don't know. Anyway. But more on that coming up later on. Look, as far as Hollywood goes, entertain me. And if you're not going to entertain me, and I'm not going to watch your movies, and your influence has diminished more and more and more and more as we have democratized the process of entertaining the masses with the various platforms by which people can actually engage in an entertaining fashion and do things that we enjoy watching. Don't preach to me. I don't need to be preached to. Thank you very much. I'll leave that to, I don't know, the political commentators that might know a thing or two a little more than you do, and I would consider myself among that number. Some wouldn't. I would. 52 after the hour, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Oh, we're laughing. I'm so sorry.
That's terrible.
I'm so sorry.
It's terrible.
No, but I thought it would be like a cartoon. Somebody did AI. This is so good. You need to figure out how to get that to me some way where I can post this on my socials. While you do that, somebody sent us the Ken Weaver shot that we were asking for. It's a young Ken Weaver with a reddish beard and just a lovely shock of hair on the top of your head, but it's nicely cut. And Weaver's smoking a nag, and there's a woodpecker that he's killed with a and he looks bored. And a little demented. But anyway, that's pretty good.
Goodness.
We were looking for like a cartoon, but this is pretty good too. All right, let me talk about Better Water LLC. My friends at Better Water, boy, they're good at what they do. And we just had a reverse osmosis system put in our downstairs kitchen. And, that's where we entertain. And if we're making, a nice whiskey, branch and brown water or something along those lines, you want water that is pure of all of the nasties. You don't want all that stuff. My water in my home is pretty good, but we wanted to take it a little extra step in the downstairs, and so we did that with reverse osmosis from Better Water. They also do water softeners, specialized filters, UV lights. They can do whole home or just under the sink, and that's what we did. We did an under the sink application. It removes sulfur and iron and chlorine and everything that makes your water taste weird, nasty, and puts your health in danger. That's what they're all about. So whether it's your residence or your office or your place of business, get Better Water on your team. 615-355-6063. I would request Robert because he's so good at what he does. 615-355-6063 or online at betterwater.com. That's betterwater.com for Better Water. Hi, friends. It's Matt Murphy, and I'm sad to report through Mark at Nashville Safe House that break-ins are still an issue in Middle Tennessee. Now, you can see the reporting for yourself, or you can go talk to Mark because he sees folks just like you that are concerned about the possibility of a break-in in their home, and they want to protect themselves from that possibility by buying a quality safe from Nashville Safe House. Sadly, customers came in recently and talked about a break-in in their neighborhood. They also had a victim who had almost, I think it was over $200,000 worth of gold and silver stolen from them and other valuables. It's happening, folks, and you need to protect yourself. One of the best ways to do that is to secure your valuables in a high-security safe from the Safe House, the only place that I would recommend. They have over 200 safes in stock. You walk in the lobby, you'll see Donald Trump to your left. You'll see the Murphy safe to your right. You'll see Jill right in front of you. You'll see the rest of the team. Mark is running around somewhere. We don't know where he is. But let me tell you, they've got the safes that you want. Like Fort Knox, the only dealer for Fort Knox in the area. They've got Brownings galore. Many other brands, too numerous to mention. Go by and see them, 4th Avenue South in Nashville. It's NashvilleSafehouse.com, NashvilleSafehouse.com.
Four o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes. Right now in Middle Tennessee, some of us still getting some snow flurries. Right after we had a bunch of tornado warnings last night. U.S. National Weather Service surveyors are working to determine if tornadoes caused the damage in Murray County, where residents tell Channel 4 they feared the worst.
I was standing in the middle of the floor. It scared me to death. I was standing in the middle of the floor and it hit. My windows shadow. I couldn't move. I was scared.
I thought it was going to implode. It felt like the house was breathing. So it was just vibrating and it felt like everything was going to suck into the house. I don't know how to explain it.
In Lawrence County, widespread damage to homes and trees, including a brand new double-wide trailer that was blown across a street and into a pond. Operation Epic Fury at the White House today. The president claiming some countries have offered to help protect oil shipments through the Strait of Hormuz.
Numerous countries have told me they're on the way. Some are very enthusiastic about it, and some aren't. Some are countries that we've helped for many years. We've protected them from horrible outside sources, and they weren't that enthusiastic. And the level of enthusiasm matters to me.
EU nations and the UK have said they will not get involved in the Iran war. The White House chief of staff getting life-changing news, but not a change in duties. President Trump's revealed that Susie Wiles is battling early-stage breast cancer. He says she has a fantastic medical team and an excellent outlook. Wiles is starting treatment immediately and plans to stay fully engaged in her role. Trump says her commitment shows her strength and dedication to serving the country. And a labor dispute at one of the nation's largest meatpacking plants is threatening to boost beef prices nationwide. Here's ABC's Jim Ryan.
With a temperature hovering around 20 degrees, nearly 4,000 workers at the Swift Beef Company plant in Greeley, Colorado walked off the job before sunrise, demanding better pay and working conditions and compensation for safety equipment they say the company doesn't provide. Swift's parent company says it's offered a 60-cent per hour raise. The union says that doesn't take Colorado's high cost of living into consideration.
Well, if you picked up Costco's meatloaf with mashed Yukon potatoes and glaze, you may need to check your fridge. The chain has issued a recall due to a possible salmonella contamination from a supplier. The meals were sold between March 2nd and 13th in several states, including Tennessee. Costco says no illnesses have been reported, but urges customers to return the product for a refund. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. BNA got a crash blocking the right two lanes, 40 eastbound past Donaldson Pike. Rivergate a crash, right shoulder block 65 northbound before Vietnam Veterans Boulevard. And then look for a crash. This is going to be Inglewood, Gallatin Pike at Kirkland Avenue. And they're getting ready to clear this injury crash, Elm Hill Pike at Arlington Avenue. I'm Ken Weaver.
Yeah, getting some information out of Bonner Town, where the damages due to the storms last night are pretty significant. No loss of life and no reports of injury, but the damage is pretty bad. Yeah, we were here last evening for you on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Proud to do that for you, and we're going to be here anytime there are tornado warnings. We jump on air and make sure that you have the information that you need to make decisions for yourself. We'll continue talking about that. We're also going through a couple of other things. Number one, I never intended to talk about smoking last hour, but we did, and we eventually talked about I made an error. We try to correct the errors as soon as we're aware of them. I made a significant error, and I want to correct the error on the very same platform in which it was made, because we don't do like liberals do, right? They make errors on these big platforms, and they correct them, on the back pages of some news rag that nobody watches or listens to. So I erroneously said that the caricature of the camel that was popularized in the 1980s for Camel cigarettes was named Joe Cool. And I would like to apologize sincerely. Joe Cool was Snoopy from the Peanuts.
Snoopy smoked?
Snoopy did not smoke, but Snoopy had a persona when he put on his sunglasses that they called Joe Cool.
And he smoked.
He did not smoke. Joe Camel smoked, and Joe Camel was not Joe Cool. Joe Camel was Joe Camel. So you clear? Joe Camel, smoker. Joe Cool, beagle dog, non-smoker. Fair? Fair. Okay. Very good. My bad. All right. We've covered a lot. By the way, we have I think there are at least 2 photos that because I'm old, I have no ability to get the technology over to my email. So I've gotten 2 that were sent to me personally, but there's a couple more that have come in of Ken Weaver as a youth killing a woodpecker with a brick while smoking a cigarette. This is perhaps the best thing that has happened in my life in a while, and so I want to keep it going, please. So I'm posting these on my platforms. You can see them at Matt Murphy Show, at Matt Murphy Show. I think I like the one of Weaver in a younger body, but his same face a little better than the young Weaver. So if you missed the first hour of the show, like, what in the hell are these people doing? We are requesting, I said caricature, but we've gotten some great AI interpretations of it as well. The one of says Chat GPT won't allow you to make an image of a child, but here's Ken with his BB gun reliving his childhood, and that's a good look. I think, you know what I could probably do? I could probably move this over and here, cast that, Jackson.
Why, you can put it up on the YouTube?
I think I can put it up on the YouTubes. Yeah, there we go. So,
man.
Yeah, Ken, there's a little, there's the woodpecker's on the brick and got little X's for eyes, and Weaver's holding his BB gun, and Weaver's, smoking himself a congratulatory cigarette, got his green hat on and his maroon-colored hunting jacket. Looking good, Ken. Looking good. There's that one going on.
That's a heck of a BB gun right there.
That's a nice. You see it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a nice looking BB gun. Oh, here's another one. Hold on. Here's another. That's just straight up. There's a kid holding a dead woodpecker with smoking a cigarette. For some reason, he's got headphones on, so that means he's Ken Weaver.
Oh, goodness.
I'm Ken Weaver?
I'm Ken Weaver?
Nelson wants to know if Jackson is grumpy today. Jackson, are you grumpy today?
No.
Okay. Jackson says no. 4460 wants to know if we can give Ken Bob Ross hair. Sure, y'all do whatever you want to. I'm going to go ahead and actually start talking about some of the news, fellas. But y'all do whatever you want to. And there have been, Ken, your reputation precedes you well enough that I have gotten not one, not 2, but more than 2 questions about why you're wearing a shirt, because the feeling is that you would have been shirtless when all of this happened.
I may have been. I very well may have been. There was a lot of times in the summers, probably up until I was in the 5th grade, where I'd just run around without a shirt all the time.
Yeah. I did a lot.
My friends did too.
I typically had a shirt on, but I didn't wear shoes very much.
Well, I took it off. Like once you get out and you start playing, you get hot.
Yeah, sure.
So you just take it off, and I probably just lost my shirt.
Well, I got to tell you, bricking woodpeckers is hot business. Am I still up over there?
Bricking woodpeckers. Do
you still have me up over there? This might be my favorite so far. I don't know why this one's my favorite. It's
terrible.
It's Weaver's.
It's terrible.
Head like current, but he's a kid, and there's. I think that BB gun's a sawed-off BB gun. And look, that BB gun's still smoking. I mean, that's fresh.
Looks like Weaver's about to eat the brick.
Oh.
Now he's about to. I think that woodpecker's about to eat that brick.
That woodpecker did eat that brick.
Man, well, you got to do what you got to do.
Had to, man. Poor little fella.
Poor guy. You don't like him suffering. Oh, speaking of that, I have a request for the audience, and this is something personal that I need to ask of the audience, but y'all are the smartest listening audience on planet Earth.
Yes, sir.
So we have a lot of bees around our home.
Oh, good.
Which is good. But Ken, the carpenter bees, I mean, we've got...
Oh, you got those big carpenter bees.
We've got wood that the carpenter bees absolutely love.
Yes, sir.
So I know we have at least one of the carpenter bee traps on the back porch that was left over from the previous owner.
Is it full?
Well, there's two, and two got in there over the weekend, and Erica doesn't like them.
Yeah.
She has decided that she does not like them. And I get it, because it's not a quick end to the bee. The bee stays in there alive until it dies.
Yeah.
In the jar.
It takes days.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
It's a wood block, and they go up in the wood for some, and then they can't get back out.
Right.
And so now they're in the jar, and then they die.
Yeah.
Over a series of days. And Erica's like, and I get it. She's like, she's like, we've got to deal with the bees because there's too many of them, and they burrow into the house. I mean, there's a lot of carpenter bee holes on the siding of our home, and so we have to deal with it.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering if there is we don't mind killing them.
Yeah.
But I just don't want them to, the idea of them just sitting there in the jar and
Suffering. Yeah.
I mean,
Get you
even
a
a
brick.
bee. I can get a brick. I would rather spray them than, or smush them.
I wonder if a carpenter bee can sting.
I looked some of this up. So I think bumblebees and carpenter bees are similar.
They look alike.
They look a lot alike. And so I don't know if we're dealing with bumbles or carpenters, and I'm not going to ask for paperwork. I'm not going to, So we're just treating them as the same.
Yeah.
They're going to hurt our home by digging into the home.
Yeah, they are doing that.
So what we were told, the Google machine said that the male carpenter bees or the male bees don't have, I don't know if it's carpenter or bumble, they don't have stingers.
Okay.
It's the females that have the stingers. And they will not sting you unless
you mess with them.
They're provoked.
Yeah.
Unless they're threatened. But let me tell you who is a threatening character on our back deck in our home to the bees.
Mrs. Beasley.
Kim got
Jackson.
it.
I'm sorry. Little Miss Beasley.
Munson.
Munson is.
Ms. Beasley, she'll kind of look at him and avoid him. Munson desperately wants one in his mouth. And so
That's going to be funny.
And that is not going to be good, kid.
No, it's
Now we got a big old swole up mouth and a trip to the vet.
Old Munford.
Because Munson's biting on the bees.
Oh, don't do that.
And we
Munson.
keep telling him that bee's going to bumble you.
Yeah.
That's what Erica used to call it when she was a kid. She said, if you a bee will bumble you.
Yeah,
that means sting you. You don't want to be bumbling you. Put water in the jar. Okay, well, that make all right.
Oh,
all right.
yeah.
Okay. All right. Now we're talking. I've never had the house that we owned in Birmingham was brick, and so I've never really had to deal with carpenter bees in mass like this because we've got wood everywhere on this house, and we got carpenter bees everywhere on this house. So I'm just looking for advice. 615-737-9986. You don't have to, if you want to call it in, you can call it in. You can write it in. Just any advice that anybody has. There is a sporting way. This is Sally, so y'all watch out.
Yeah.
There's a sporting way to deal with carpenter bees. It involves beer and a badminton racket. That sounds like fun.
Get you one of those electric badminton
Oh,
rackets.
man, those are... I used to have one of those.
I've got one.
Get a wiffle ball bat and have fun. Okay, so the water or oil in the jar makes sense, and because, you drown them and then it's done, and they don't have to sit there. But, because I thought they were dead yesterday, and I thunked the thing, and I'm like, oh, man, I kind of feel bad. I woke you up. I was trying to die peacefully. Oh, wait, I got a beekeeper on the line. I like it.
Here we go.
5286. Now we're talking. A beekeeper here, male bees cannot sting. See, bees are very similar to humans. The only human beings with real stingers are the females. Let me assure y'all.
The women.
The women. They're the ones that'll get you.
They'll sting you.
Oh, the men folk, like male bees and the male humans, will talk a good game, but we got nothing to back it up. But the women, they'll get on you. Well, Mr. Beekeeper, would you help me out? I mean, what is the favored way to deal with carpenter bees? The best way, because I like those jar things. I mean, that you hang them up around the house and they attract the bee, and then you get in there and then they drop in. So I suppose adding water. I'm not going to add gasoline.
Was that Sally?
That was somebody. No, 9270 said put gas at the bottom. You know what? I might ask, you know what I need to do? I need to ask J.K. Brister of U.S. Pest.
Well, there you go.
I mean, I don't know why I'm beating around the bush here. I need to go to the source of the matter.
I bet he can take care of it.
I guarantee you that he's got a solution for the carpenter bee problem. So that's what I need to do. U.S. Pest bringing you this and every hour of the Matt Murphy Show on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Jackson's very excited because he's got a lot of bee calls. A lot of bee calls. Normally we try for the A calls, the premier, the A-plus calls.
Right.
But today we're taking B calls. And, if Mike from Old Hickory calls, maybe a D-minus call. It's 20 minutes after 4 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. When we return, the Department of Homeland Security is still partially shut down. Lines are getting longer and longer at the airports. What are the Democrats doing about it? Absolutely nothing. The Democrats are so dumb in their argument, and they're so convinced that the mainstream media will protect them, that they are now arguing that we need to open up the government while simultaneously keeping the government shut down. Make it make sense. We shall discuss. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hello, friends. It's Matt Murphy for the Tennessee Men's Clinic. In 2014, Evan Bass and his team brought Tennessee Men's Clinic to Nashville, Tennessee, and they opened up shop in what is now called Midtown. Since then, they have opened up multiple locations. I think Murfreesboro is open, if I'm not mistaken. I need to find that out, but I believe I heard that Murfreesboro is now operational. I do know this. Clarksville's there. Cool Springs in that region, right in Franklin, is there. And, of course, the OG in Midtown, all designed to serve you. Men, if you've lost energy, if you've lost motivation or drive just in daily life, getting to the gym or whatnot, or doing yard work or whatever it might be, or if this has manifested itself in bedroom activity and you just don't have the same, let's call it, oomph that you once had, let the Tennessee Men's Clinic get on the job. For $99, you'll get a complete examination, and in your first treatment, they'll get a little blood work, and they're going to figure out what's going on. Is it testosterone levels? Is it something else? Whatever it might be, they will get a plan of action together for you, specific to your needs, and we'll get you back into the game, man. Let's get back to life with the Tennessee Men's Clinic. You can make it happen today by calling and scheduling that appointment at 615-208-9090, 615-208-9090. Hello, friends. It's Matt Murphy, and King and Associates Insurance was the one-stop shop for me when I bought my new home when it came to home insurance. Now, when I talked to Emery the first time, I said, yeah, Emery, I need homeowners. You know, we've had the same auto insurance, and I just don't think that the rates can be beat with the auto insurance company that we've had because we had them for a long time. We got them through Erica's grandfather through his military service. And Emery said, well, if you don't mind, let me crunch these numbers. Let me see what we can do. And they came in for automobile insurance alone for our two vehicles at over $300 less annually. That's a significant savings on our automobile insurance. And let's go. We bundled that up with our homeowners. Homeowners was already very inexpensive. Absolutely love it. King & Associates Insurance, they shop around. It's what they do. They make it so easy for you. You don't have to break the budget. They shop, no hassle, no long forms, no hours on hold, and they come back and they give you a full report on what your options truly are. 615-321-8121, 321-8121, or tkinginsurance.com. King & Associates Insurance, where smart money shops.
We're waiting to learn whether actual tornadoes did the damage in Lawrence and Murray counties last night. You're going to hear from some residents describing what it was like coming up at 4:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Perhaps the best super text we've gotten so far today. I was talking about, and this was confirmed by a beekeeper, that male bees don't have stingers and female bees have stingers, which confirms that bees must be Democrats, because all the Democrats running around say that the female humans have stingers and the male humans don't. See what they did there with the stinger and the, it's like, it's like it's your, you know what I'm saying? Stinger. Get it? Get it? Thank you for all of your advice. I think the water with a little bit of soap is perhaps the way to go, but I'm going to talk to my expert over at J.K. Brister. But I'm not discounting all of this bee conversation that's right there on the line for us. But first, we're going to get to Tom. Oh, wait a minute. Jackson, did you have a solution for me, by the way? You said you might have a solution.
Nincompoop a couple weeks ago, he burned his whole neighborhood down.
Oh, yeah, trying to kill spiders.
As the guy that's trying to kill spiders?
You tried that?
Well, no, Jackson, I haven't.
Have you ever thought arson might be the answer?
You think that might be a good idea? If it was spiders, I might do that. But I'm not so averse to bees. You think I should take just Lysol and a lighter?
Yeah, make a flamethrower.
I'll make little flaming meteors out of them. Just whoosh and they fly off right into the house and whoosh, and there goes the house. And won't that be great? Won't that be great? Tom is next up. Hey, Tom.
Hey, Matt. Thanks for taking my call.
Of course.
I wanted to call in and shed a little light on this whole Senate Bill 2040, House Bill 1959.
Yeah, I'm glad we can get into this, because I you know what, I've not delved into it, and I'm behind the times on it because I know that the General Assembly is considering this thing. What are your thoughts on this, Tom?
Well, I'm a retired pharmacist, and I was in leadership for a national chain here locally. And the PBMs are the pharmacy benefit managers, so they get paid by the health insurance companies. And what they do is they set up and they manage the networks with the local pharmacies. So they set up who's in the network, and they also negotiate the rates, and that's important, with the local pharmacies, what they'll accept for payment. So if the PBM owns a group of pharmacies, such as CVS Caremark, then they can artificially lower the rates because they can shift their profits through the PBMs and push out the local pharmacies who can't afford to accept the rates they're offering.
Mm-hmm. So
when they do this, the local pharmacies lose business, and eventually they go out of business, as many of our local pharmacies. I've been in Tennessee for 20 years, and we've lost a lot of local pharmacies over those years.
So my question, and I think I have enough of a command of this to to understand that aspect of it. So my question is, why not pass a law that disallows the preferential treatment?
Well, if you can level the playing field, because I'm like you, I'm a free market guy, but if it's unfair competition, that just doesn't work. You can't have free markets with unfair competition. Some of the big companies like Walmart and Kroger, they can take some of those lowball contracts, but then they have to figure out how to cut the costs in the pharmacy.
And loss leaders, right.
Loss leaders are a lot of times they're cutting staffing, which hurts the pharmacy services and the patient care. And if you've been to a local pharmacy lately, you know what I'm talking about.
Well, you seem to be a great all right, so I want you to be a resource here because I have a number of questions about how all of this works, and it seems very complex, and I don't understand it. Can you hold for just a second through the news?
Yeah, sure.
Okay,
sure.
Because I'm very curious about your thoughts on this. Tom is going to act as a resource for us before we get to the politicians, because you get to the politicians, and I don't know, who's coming from where and why, but I just need to know. I don't think I quite understand what a pharmacy benefit manager does. I don't understand what they do that I can't do or that the pharmacy and the insurance company can't do themselves. I don't understand why pharmacy benefit managers exist. Now, what this bill would do is prevent pharmacy benefit managers and a pharmacy from being owned by the same parent organization. I think that I have that understanding. So we'll get to it in a moment. Tom's going to be there. If you have B suggestions, let's go. Just stay there, and we'll get to those as well. We can chew bubble gum and walk at the same time on the Matt Murphy Show on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. It's time for news.
4:30 on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast and traffic in 5 minutes. And right now in Middle Tennessee, we're waiting to see if actual tornadoes did the damage in Lawrence and Murray counties last night. Residents at a heavily damaged apartment complex in Columbia telling Channel 4.
And it just started to vibrate. The windows, the door, everything was vibrating. It was howling. I can't even describe it. We heard the glass shatter, and it was over quick.
I thought I couldn't leave here. It was bad. Just tore up everything out here.
In Lawrence County, widespread damage to homes and trees, including a brand new double-wide trailer that was blown across a street and into a pond. Operation Epic Fury update at the White House today. President Trump claims high prices aren't going to last long.
I can tell you that when this is over, oil prices are going to go down very, very rapidly. So is inflation, so is everything else.
Right now in Middle Tennessee, Gas Buddy says the average price per gallon is $3.47. That's up 83 cents from last month. Tennessee has landed a major clean energy investment that could reshape 2 counties. Create Energy says it will expand its Middle Tennessee footprint with 1,003 new jobs. The project includes a more than $76 million investment in a new 338,000 square foot facility in Orlando. That site will become the company's main production center and generate the vast majority of the openings. Another $2 million will go into the Portland location, which will focus on research and international partnerships. Travelers across the country feeling the impact of the shutdown, the partial shutdown of the Department of Homeland Security, with TSA staffing now at a breaking point. More than 300 officers have walked off the job. Those still working are doing it without pay.
Atlanta TSA officer George Borick is a former firefighter in New Jersey. He says he knows firsthand during a time of heightened security like right now with the fighting in Iran that it's important to gear up security, which the TSA cannot do when officers are not getting paid. He has this plea to Congress.
We can't do that unless Congress does what they need to do. Fund us. Let us go back to work. Let us gear up.
Airline CEOs have now sent a letter to Congress demanding that TSA officers get paid. Alex Stone, ABC News.
That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. Got a crash blocking the right shoulder. That's going to be 65 northbound before Vietnam Veterans Boulevard. In Woodbine, a crash 24 eastbound at I-440. West Nashville, Charlotte Pike east of I-40. I'm Ken Weaver.
Super Talk 99.7 WTN. For those asking, the 1,000th show is Wednesday, and I think we're going out after, Jackson.
Where are we going?
I don't know yet, but we're going to find out. And we'll invite the audience to come out and enjoy a libation with us. Now, I know that Brother Weaver has to get down to Murfreesboro, but Brother Weaver, I have some news.
Let's do it okay, go ahead.
It's my understanding you get here earlier than Jackson and I typically get here because, I mean, you're on with Chris Hand. You're on with Chad Benson.
Yeah. Brother Chad.
I mean, you're here all day. Apparently, Wednesday, there's some food coming.
Really?
That's what I'm told.
All right.
I'm told that it's going to be pretty good, and it's going to be here about 12:30.
What's it going to be?
Barbecue. Mm-hmm. I don't know where from.
It's going to be some mac and cheese.
Gosh, I hope so, Ken. I sure hope so.
Oh, man.
All right, more on that coming up. 1,000th episode on the way this Wednesday. We're very excited. Today is episode 998. Now, Tom has given us a lowdown on this Senate Bill 2040. There's a House bill designation on it, too, and I don't know what that is. But, Tom, I'm trying to understand how the system works before I can understand what they're trying to do to change it. And sure. I don't, and forgive my ignorance in this, but you seem to be the guy to ask. So what does a pharmacy benefit manager do?
So you were asking before the break, I think you mentioned, what do they do for me that I can't do for myself or my insurance company can't do for me? And the answer to that, honestly, is nothing. But they make a money in between you and your insurance company and the pharmacy and your insurance company. It used to be the insurance companies would handle the benefits, the pharmacy benefits side of it on their own. Frankly, they didn't do a great job of it. Once upon a time, people had to pay for their own prescriptions out of pocket, and they would send in their receipts to get reimbursed, and the insurance companies would get piles and shoe boxes of receipts from people, and that didn't work very well. So they started like in the late 60s with the PBMs, and they were basically just computer guys that said, hey, we can set this up so that you can do it all by computer. The patient will just pay their portion, and we'll manage the rest of it. But it's been expanded over the years to include them negotiating the rates with the local pharmacies and also the formularies that the local pharmacies have to use. So,
all right, stop for a second. Pause for a second. So when you say, and I don't mean to interrupt you, but I'm flagging questions here. So, and I figure I'd knock them down when you say it. So
perfect.
So let me get all the players on the field here. We've got me. I'm the patient. Yep. We have the doctor who prescribes me the prescription. We've got my insurance company that is going to pay a certain amount for the prescription provided. And then we have the pharmacy that fills the prescription with a pharmacist. And then we've got the pharmacy benefit manager. So and when you say they set the rates, what does that mean?
They negotiate the reimbursement that the pharmacy is going to get paid for dispensing that medication.
With the insurance companies?
With the insurance company, right. So instead of the insurance company and the pharmacy talking, the PBM negotiates with the pharmacy or a group of pharmacies to set up what's called a network. So if you have a card from CVS Caremark, you can go not just to CVS pharmacies, but you may be able to go to Kroger or Walmart or Walgreens or somebody else included in that network because they've agreed to accept the rates and the terms of that contract, right? So they set that up and they negotiate all that with the local pharmacies.
And so go ahead, I'm sorry.
No problem. Their goal is to show the insurance company that they can save them money from doing it themselves and also to obviously make money for their company, the PBM.
Yeah, so the PBM is a go-between, and they take a little bit off the top and claim that they're saving everybody money as a result.
They're sometimes referred to as the murky middleman.
Yeah, I mean, this seems like, this is a byproduct. It feels like of, I don't know. This feels icky. The whole thing feels icky. Tom, should it feel icky to me?
It should. It definitely should, because what happens is if they own the pharmacies as well as the PBM, then they can push those rates artificially down, the rate that the pharmacies get reimbursed, and then either local pharmacies can't afford to accept the rates, so they don't participate in your network, so you can't go to the pharmacy of your choice. You have to go just to the ones in their network. Or they do take it, and then they suffer and they have to do things like cutting staff, because that's your biggest expense in any retail situation is your staff. And they cut the staff, and then the lines get longer and the service gets poor, and the pharmacists don't have time to do the patient care that they're so good at. So that's where it becomes a problem. And this bill, and I think it's House Bill 1959 and Senate Bill 2040, we got to get these lawmakers to pass this, because that gets rid of the unfair competition of the pharmacy being owned by the PBM and then being able to artificially lower these rates.
I mean, what it amounts to is that there's competing interest here, and the pharmacy benefit manager claims to be working for me, and if they're owned by the pharmacy, then they're really working for the pharmacy, in other words.
Well, they're working for themselves,
well, right,
and using the pharmacy to do that.
Do local pharmacies use PBMs?
They have to negotiate with them in order to be part of these networks with the big insurance companies.
So in other words, the PBMs that are owned by the big companies are the small pharmacies. When they enter the negotiation, these PBMs are negotiating with these small guys while being owned by the bigger guys, and so obviously they're not going to be fair in their negotiation, because they want the customer to ultimately go to their pharmacy.
Exactly.
Well, so I'm a free market guy, and I'm loath to get I feel like the government created this by sticking their hands in the free market where they ought not to stick their hands in the free market. And now they're sticking their hands further in the free market to try to solve a problem that was partially due to their creation. And this is more of a broad commentary about insurance and how government gets its meat hooks into how we deal with insurance. So I guess my question to you is, if I gave, Tom, you seem like a very smart guy and very knowledgeable about this subject. If I made you King Tom for the day, how would you solve it?
Well, one of the things you could do is just what the Tennessee lawmakers are attempting to do, which is to deny pharmacy permits to any pharmacy that's owned by a pharmacy benefit manager. That would at least make it a level playing field amongst all the pharmacies, that you wouldn't have any of these that are owned by the PBMs. And then the ones that are owned by the PBMs, they don't have to make money in the pharmacy. They can make money in the PBM. So they can shift that, and then they don't have to give a fair rate. They can just put their pharmacies in the network and take a very low rate and not give it not give a fair price, a fair wage.
What about, is it an alternate to possibly say, all right, look, and I'm just spitballing, I'm thinking out loud, instead of preventing a parent organization from owning both, I like CVS is the easiest example, because CVS is spending millions of dollars against this legislation in the state of Tennessee right now. So let's use CVS as an example. CVS owns pharmacies, and they own CVS Caremark, which is a PBM, right?
That's correct.
Okay.
And Aetna is part of the
which is an insurance company.
well.
So it's so damn incestuous. Oh my God, it's skeevy. So what if I said you're still allowed to own a PBM? You can own CVS Caremark, but you can't lowball rates to CVS. In other words, you have to offer the same rates to local pharmacies that you offer to CVS.
Well, they'd be happy to do that, because they'll offer a very low rate, and then CVS will accept it, and the other pharmacies.
And they'll make their money. They'll make their money on the candy aisle for a while until they run the local mom and pops out of business.
Not even. They'll make their money on the PBM.
Yeah, because the PBM's making money on all of it, and so they'll lose money at the pharmacy to make the money on the PBM.
Yes, and to drive the competition out.
And then eventually this sounds so very similar, Tom, to, I've talked about this for a while, that the perversion of free market capitalism. And I use, and Walmart hates it when I use this example, but I call Walmart the evil empire. And I don't mean they're like Russia. I mean they're like Darth Vader. And because it's so attractive to people. I mean, when I watched Star Wars when I was a kid, I wanted to be Darth Vader, because that looked cool. You can let your anger flow, right? I mean, you can just you can kill anybody you want to at any point that you want to. That sounds pretty cool. So it's very alluring. And And I use Walmart as an example of how alluring that process is, where, I mean, you go in and you buy a cheap product and, man, everything's in one location. But what Walmart has done for years, I don't know if they still do it or not, but I know they used to do it this way. They would go into these markets and they would find the soft spot in the market. In other words, where can we drive prices down within our store and use those aspects, like whether it's pharmacy or clothing or grocery, as loss leaders. And so we're going to artificially deflate prices for the first 2 years that we're here. We will drive the mom and pops out of business because everybody will come to us. And then we'll just slowly raise prices back up to a level where we're actually making money. And that's a perversion of free market to me. And I don't know what to do about it. But it's just a dark underbelly of the free market. And that's what it feels like this is, too.
Sure. You don't have to convince me anything about the evil empire. I've called them that for years.
I mean, so but then the question is, what do we do that touches least? I mean, without dismantling the entire system. I mean, I think part of the problem is we allow pharmaceutical companies to own insurance companies. Why the hell are we doing that?
I don't disagree with that either.
Well, Tom, thank you for the education on this. This helps me out on it. At the same time, and I appreciate the call, Tom. Thank you. I'm just so loath to have government intervene in the marketplace. And the other aspect of this that I don't understand, and once again, guys, I'm behind the 8 ball on this and a little bit behind the curve. How is Trump involved? Because we're being told that Donald Trump's doing things that this would go against, and this is against the Trump agenda with regard to pharmaceutical prices and all of these types of things. I don't think that government should be in the business of protecting business from going out of business necessarily, but government should not be a part of the reason. So look at like property taxes in Davidson County. My big beef with Acme Feed and Seed, and the reason I'm on the side of Acme Feed and Seed or on the side of the Peg Leg Porker or Layla's or all these other businesses in Davidson County that are squealing, no pun intended, regarding their property taxes, they're not going out of business just because they're not managing their business properly. This is not a matter of government intervening to save free market. This is a matter of government intervening and causing the problem that is killing free market, right? That's what's happening in Davidson County. On the other side, if the customer, the problem is we don't have any power. And it's not a matter of have to have, because there's plenty of things that we have to have. It's a matter of the system being created and set up where if one organization owns the pharmacy and the insurance company and the PBM, then how can the mom and pop pharmacist compete with that? Except to appeal to the local community that you have to pay more to shop here, but we beg of you to do that because otherwise we're going to be taken over by a big corporation that doesn't really give a damn about your local community. It's a tough one. 615-737-9986. We also have a very important conversation about bees. John and Ron and Roger. We'll get to your bee talk in a moment on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hello, friends. Matt Murphy for Dickens Turf and Landscape Supply, your local one-stop shop for all things spring and summer and beyond. The Toros Spring Sales event is here and going on at Dickens Turf and Landscape Supply right now. It is mowing season. You well know that. It is time to replace, perhaps, your old mower. Right now, you can save up to $300 on a Toro residential zero-turn and $70 on Toro walk mowers. They're stocked up with recyclers, Toro time cutters, Toro Titans, and a Toro Z-Master mower, and they're looking to make a deal. Toro, you can count on it. Go where the pros go, friends. Dickens Turf and Landscape Supply is the one that I recommend when you're looking for quality parts and products. The best advice in the business. Your one-stop Toro shop is Dickens Turf and Landscape Supply. They have 7 convenient Middle Tennessee locations, never too far from one of their stores. To find out about their stores and much, much more, go to DickensSupply.com. That's DickensSupply.com. Tell them Matt Murphy sent you to Dickens Turf and Landscape Supply. Do you want to know about a place where European auto repair does not feel like European auto repair? Friends, it's Matt Murphy. And the moment you walk into Eurofix, you'll notice that Eurofix is not your typical greasy garage. Aaron Stokes, all of his life, God bless him, he made it that way. And he made sure of it. Clean, comfortable waiting rooms, inviting service areas, spotless service areas, because Eurofix cares about everything from how you're treated to how your vehicle is treated. Every repair comes with a rock-solid 3-year, 36,000-mile warranty on all repairs they perform. Plus, it happens at below dealer pricing, so you save money. You don't have to put up with dealer prices or get ghosted, and they pay their mechanics more than anybody else. It's possible. Eurofix has been doing it for 26 years, and they want to help you. A rental car is available with every appointment. They fix everything European. Nashville, Franklin, Belmead, Murfreesboro, and Mount Juliet. Call 844-EUROFIX, 844-EUROFIX, or online, myeurofix.com.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast and traffic coming up in 5 minutes. And right now in Middle Tennessee, U.S. National Weather Service crews inspecting storm damage to determine whether tornadoes touched down last night. Channel 4 spoke to a couple who wrote out what they think was one in Lawrence County.
Pretty much after we got into the laundry room, like we could immediately hear it. It was just like a twirl, and like you could tell it sounded more of than just like straight line winds. And we were scared. We were both, praying like, please keep our family safe.
Yeah, at least 10 homes destroyed in Lawrence County. Homes were damaged in Murray County, too. Operation Epic Fury, President Trump says when the military campaign against Iran is over, oil prices are going to go down, quote, very, very rapidly, and so is inflation and everything else.
President Trump continued to put pressure on allies to get involved in the effort to reopen the Strait of Hormuz.
Numerous countries have told me they're on the way. Some are very enthusiastic about it, and some aren't.
But he wouldn't say which countries have committed help, and so far, none have publicly. The president later, however, claimed the U.S. didn't need any help and indicated he was asking to find out how allies would react to his request.
We're the strongest nation in the world. We have the strongest military by far in the world. We don't need them.
Karen Travers, ABC News, the White House.
As if consumers were not already paying a premium for beef, a labor dispute in Colorado threatens to jack up prices even further. Here's ABC's Jim Ryan.
The Swift Beef Company plant in Greeley, Colorado is one of the largest meatpacking facilities in the country, and management has been negotiating a new contract with employees for months. In a dispute over pay and working conditions, the union says the company has tried to intimidate its members. This morning, in a pre-dawn freeze, 3,800 workers went on strike, shutting down the production line.
A major clean energy company bringing more than 1,000 new jobs to Middle Tennessee. Create Energy is expanding in Middle Tennessee with more than 1,000 new jobs across Robertson and Sumner counties. State officials say the company's investing over $78 million in the project. A new 338,000 square foot facility in Orlando will serve as the main production center, creating more than 970 jobs. The company will also add 30 positions at its Portland site, which will become a welcome center and research hub. And a judge has temporarily blocked RFK Jr.'s efforts to reshape childhood vaccine policy, as we hear from ABC's Peter Haralambous.
In what's being touted by doctors as a win for public health, a federal judge on Monday blocked changes to the childhood vaccine schedule that reduced the number of recommended shots from 17 to 11. The judge also suspended the appointments of 13 members of the CDC's Vaccine Advisory Committee, who were all appointed unilaterally by RFK Jr. after he fired the preceding members. The Trump administration can appeal the temporary order. Peter Haralambous, ABC News.
That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. Got a crash over by the airport. It's going to be 40 westbound at Briley Parkway, exit 215. In Woodbine, 440 eastbound at Nolensville Pike. In Antioch, Murfreesboro Pike, west of Nashboro Boulevard. Also, Murfreesboro Pike at Arlington Avenue. And then in Murfreesboro, got a stalled vehicle on the right shoulder. 24 eastbound at I-840. I'm Ken Weaver.
Super Talk 99.7 WTN. My name is Matt Murphy, and this is the second half of a Monday edition of the Matt Murphy Show. Thank you for being with us. All right, we're going to catch up with some of the weather that went down over the weekend. We're going to catch up. We are, I don't believe there's another radio program in the United States of America, nor should there be, that is simultaneously discussing PBMs, which would be pharmacy benefit managers, and the relationship that they have with the pharmaceutical industry in terms of the pharmacies themselves, the insurance companies, the patients, the doctors. We're talking about that. We're digging deep. We're giving what we consider to be robust analysis, and we're talking about bees, specifically carpenter bees, and how to solve the carpenter bee problem at my home. Plus, we're talking about the weather, and we'll get to nincompoops in the news coming up this hour. We don't have Jody Barrett. We were planning on having Jody Barrett, but they were running long on the floor. It's been an incredibly busy day in the General Assembly, and we'll try to catch you up with that as well. Your telephone calls are most important, 615-737-9986. We would love to hear from you, no matter what the subject might be on your mind. I've got a couple of pieces of audio to play for you from Donald Trump earlier today. Donald Trump had a great analysis of where we are with Iran. He's breaking through the clutter of the mainstream media with regard to the ongoing they said from the beginning that it would be 6 weeks, right? What are we on now? Is this week 3?
Yes, sir.
Week 3, we were told from the beginning it would be 6 weeks of this initial phase. One of the things that's proving a little more difficult for Donald Trump and his administration is the Strait of Hormuz, and he admitted that today. Said it's tricky. They don't really have any ability to fight or bomb anyone. We've destroyed them with all practical purposes, or for all practical purposes. But the Strait of Hormuz is tricky. They control a little bit of that because it takes a lone terrorist or a lone mine to destroy things, and that makes these private companies very loath to go through the Strait of Hormuz. That said, Donald Trump said, look, countries that want the free flow of oil, 20% of the oil in the world goes through the Strait of Hormuz. They need to, help us out with this. And so many of the countries that will benefit, make no mistake, these countries that are pearl clutching and acting, oh my goodness, this is not our conflict, and we don't want anything to do with it. Those same countries will greatly benefit long term if this turns out well. So we got that going on. In the meantime, I am told that Bonner Town was hit by a tornado last night. I've gotten some images of that. That is just south and to the east. That is of Loretto, directly south of Lawrenceburg. In Lawrence County, there have been reports of tornadoes coming down. We were here for you last night. We don't take this lightly. We appreciate doing it for our listeners and for, the greater audience. Last night, Ken Weaver made the call. He is our news director at Super Talk 99.7 WTN, and we all gathered over the weekend and communicated via text about the possibility of inclement weather, and all of us were here. And I'll give credit to Chad and Chad and Dan were ready to go. We told them to go to bed because this was more of a late night event. Eventually, Dan woke up at his normal time and came on with us at about 11:30. I mean, which was just fascinating to me, kid. It's fascinating to me.
That's Brother Dan.
When does Manda sleep, Ken?
There's like a 2-hour window every day.
Intermittently is what I would say, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
I think you nailed it.
Dan Mandis, someone hit record and play. Dan, if you're listening at home, you might want to go ahead and hit record and play because you're going to like this one. You ready? Dan Mandis is like Thomas Edison. They say that Thomas Edison, his brain would go so wild. He had so many ideas. He had so much energy that he needed to expel and just so many things that he needed to do that he did not sleep like a normal person, that he would take little cat naps here and there. They claim that Einstein did the same. You see, only the brightest and sharpest minds among us are able to do this. And Dan Mandis, boy, oh boy, he must be of that ilk, because Mandis seems to get an hour or two here or there because, my goodness gracious, I mean, I don't know how he does what he does. Maybe it's just that he has an alert on his person that anytime his name is mentioned anywhere in the 50 contiguous or the 48 contiguous states, that alert goes off and he's aware of it. Oh, and wait, what? Who said something about me? Huh? That's my Mandis. What are you looking at me? That's my Mandis impersonation.
Sounds like you're Mark Levin.
Mark Levin. Mandis and Mark Levin are similar, except Levin's a little more angry. Mandis a little more dorky. Yeah, fair. Are you talking about me, you dope? What are you, a dope? What's wrong with you? Back Israel. Mark Levin. Oh, well, I am a backer of Israel, Mr. Levin. All right, more on war, more on bees, and right now more on PBMs. I'm going to do the bee calls first because they've been holding for the longest, and I appreciate the help. John is next up. Hey, John, how are you?
Doing fine. How are you guys doing
I'm
today?
great, brother. Thank you.
I got your answer to get rid of those carpenter bees because they're certainly not bumblebees. But if you will take WD-40 and spray it into each one of the holes, two things will happen. One, they will start coming out very quickly because they are dying, and they'll drop down and you can step on them and kill them. The other thing is, as they're coming back in from the field, they'll circle around that hole that you sprayed and circle and not go in that hole. They'll go try to find another hole to circle around and not go in it. And after they get frustrated with all those holes with the WD-40 in them, they will leave your property.
Nice.
I had about 70 holes in a DAC and had an old farmer, and this was from a WTN show that I wish was still on that had David Bates on it on Saturday mornings. Old boy called in and said, do that, and I did it, and by golly, it worked like a champ.
I love it. I absolutely love the concept. All right, so WD-40 in the holes that exist, and then obviously if you see any new ones, do that too. And do I have to reapply very often, John, or what would you recommend?
I did not reapply for that entire season.
Okay.
And the next year, they slowly wanted to come back, and I did reapply the next year. But fortunately, my deck is up over my head, so I could just reach up there, squirt, and get it done in a few minutes and be done and be happy about it.
No, I love this idea because that's nice and easy. I've got WD-40 with the little tube on it, and I can pop those holes fairly easily if that's what's going to work. Yeah, that would be preferable to, we'll probably keep a few of the bee traps around just to make sure that we've got all of our bases covered. But I love that.
Well, make it happen. You'll like the effect.
Love it, John. Love the idea. Thank you so much. I'm going to follow up on that, and I'll let you know how it goes. I'm also, we've got to get JK and Erica, or JK primarily, out to the house too, and make sure that we're doing everything on the up and up with regard to all of our other pest control needs, because clearly, I'm a U.S. Pest man. Y'all know that. U.S. Pest sponsoring every hour of the Matt Murphy Show on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. 13 minutes after the hour. Ron is next. It's Bee Talk on the Matt Murphy Show. Hey, Ron.
Hey, Matt. Point of clarification. Is this a log home that you're talking about with these bees?
It's not a log home. It was built in 1960, so it's got some old school, wood paneling on it, and it's got large eaves, and
Now, when you say eaves, do you mean like the soffits?
Yeah, I do. I'm sorry. I might be missaying that. I mean, but they're like almost 3 feet wide all the way around the house.
Okay. Well, John's advice is good, but what the bees do is they bore in and they lay their larvae. But the bees are not your real problem. Your real problem is the woodpeckers, because the woodpeckers will come along and just bore in to get to the larvae. You'd be amazed what a woodpecker can do, how much they can destroy. Erica's your wife, I assume, right?
Correct, yes.
Is against the bee trap?
She is.
You tell that girl to put her war face on.
We're in battle. We're in the midst of battle.
Exactly, bro. This is war, because when you got a bad bee infestation, you can't play around.
Well, they're every. I mean, I can tell that this is a battle that has been. This is our first spring. Obviously, we've only been in the house since January, so I can tell that this is a battle that has been fought in the past. Because there's a lot of old holes, and we see them around, and it's one that I'm taking head on, because we're gonna put an end to it. I like the idea of putting the soapy water at the bottom of those containers, and I think that will alleviate. Because she just doesn't like them watching them in there. You know how it goes.
Do you have a shotgun in the house? Because you're going to need a shotgun to shoot the woodpeckers.
Well, I do have a shotgun in the house, and I got a ton of bricks around the house too.
Yeah, we just keep Ken Weaver at your house with a brick.
Yeah,
and a pack of Lucky Strikes.
To have target practice with Erica then.
So when do now? See, I've not seen the woodpeckers yet. But you're saying
it's early. It's early for the bees too, right?
Yeah, I mean, we haven't seen a tremendous. I mean, but yesterday on the deck, there's probably 20 of them flying around the deck.
Oh, that's a lot.
Yeah,
that's a lot. I've owned 2 log homes. Now, the operative word there is I owned. I had such a bad problem. I finally just sold the last one. I said, screw it, no more log homes.
No, if I can't beat the bees, I deserve to, move into a condo in Davidson County, pay all those property taxes.
Good luck for you, brother.
Well, thank you, Ron. I appreciate the advice. That's true. I mean, if there's bees, there's larvae. If there's larvae, there's other. I mean, that's the food chain, right? One more on the bees, and then we'll get back to the PBMs and wartime. Hey, Roger, what's up?
Hey, man. Mine is a natural solution to it. You just wad up some bags or paper bags and hang them around like a hornet's nest. And hornets eat carpenter bees. So that'd be a natural way to get rid of them.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but, well, I like it, Roger. But at the same time, then I got a bunch of paper bags hanging around the house.
Yeah, that's true.
Someone else, it might have been you, though, Roger. Someone else recommended that they claim that they make replica. I mean, I can find a hornet's nest, like an old hornet's nest that's been abandoned. I can find one of those.
Yeah, I shot one out of the tree before.
Yeah. Roger, have I ever told you my hornet's nest story?
I don't know.
All right. So my brother and I went deer hunting. I was probably 13. My brother's a couple of years older than me, so he's like 15. I was maybe 13, 14. Anyway, it was cold. I'm talking cold. It was like 20 degrees outside. And Pa would sit us in deer stands. And no, I didn't leave Pa until I was probably 13 or 14. So anyway, long story short, we come back from deer hunting. Pa collects us, and Brian has gotten this huge. My brother Brian's gotten this huge hornet's nest that he found in the woods, and it's a big one. And he brought it back, and he's bringing it home. And we go back to our apartment where Mama lived in an apartment, and we thought the hornet's nest was awesome, and we were going to lacquer it, you know how they do, and spray it and make it a permanent addition to the house. And for some reason, we brought it inside the house. You know where the story's going, Roger? Because let me tell you.
I served the one I had.
So after about 30, 45 minutes, we see a hornet flying around. We're like, well, what's going on with this? And then I looked down at the hornet's nest, or Brian did, and there was one sitting in the opening. We had The Hornets were cold and hibernate. I don't know what they do, but they were very lethargic or just hibernating until we got them in the 75-degree heat of the apartment, and they woke up. And it was a lot of fun getting that hornet's nest out of the back door. Let me promise you that.
I shot one out of the top of a tree. I shot the limb, and it fell all the way to the ground. This is in the wintertime. Took it home in the springtime is when they started coming out. So I know what you mean.
Yeah, brother. All right. Well, I appreciate the call. I appreciate the suggestions on the bee front. It's 20 minutes after 5 o'clock. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Carol's got a thought on PBMs. Hey, Carol.
Hello, Matt. I've been sitting there listening to you talk about your house. Did you buy that thing as is?
Well, that's kind of how you buy houses, Carol.
Oh, well, sometimes that's true, but it seems like they'd have found some of this stuff on inspection. But anyway.
Like what?
Back to, I don't know, your air conditioner system and the bees. I don't know.
I love my new house. I absolutely adore my new house, and I'm not. I guess the reason I asked that, Carol, that way, if it comes off like I'm not. I'm a new homeowner. I'm so excited about the new house. The heating and air conditioning unit was a little bit of an unexpected deal, but I actually talked to my inspector and talked to Jeff Eddy of Efficient Heating and Cooling, who replaced it. And this is just something that it is what it is, and it wouldn't have been something that the inspector would have caught. I mean, they're just looking for a working unit, and it was actually working. But I love my new house, and I don't want to come off like I'm a complainer. I'm not.
No, I'm glad for you. We just bought a new house too. So.
Well, did you buy it as is?
Well, they had flipped it, so it was. Most of that stuff had already been done.
Well, we knew our inspection was passed. I mean, we knew that. I mean, when you buy a house that was built in 1960, you get a 66-year-old house. So we kind of knew.
That is true. That is true. But anyway, back to pharmacy benefit managers. The other icky thing that I will tell you about them is they go to the drug manufacturers. And they say, hey, we want to buy drug alpha. And the drug manufacturer says, okay, we'll sell it to you for $1 a pill or whatever. And they say, okay. So, but what they don't tell you is, so they go to the insurance company and they say, okay, we'll, cover this for your participants at $1 a pill. And the insurance company says, okay. But what the pharmacy benefit manager doesn't tell you or the insurance is that for every X amount of quantity they buy, they get Y amount of discount. So at the end of the year, they may wind up paying 10 cents a pill. However, they have charged the insurance company and you $1 a pill.
Mm-hmm.
So the pharmacy benefit manager is making all the money.
Mm-hmm.
And they're screwing the people that are paying for the prescriptions.
I'm having a difficult. I mean, why are we allowing these third parties that don't have any? I don't have anything to do with this third party. I'm a simple guy, and maybe I shouldn't be this confused by this system. And I don't have a lot of health issues, so I don't have to deal with it very often. The last time I went to the doctor was 3 years ago. So I don't understand why we are allowing third parties to set rates between us and the pharmacy and the insurance company. Why don't the three of us decide all of that? Why is this fourth party involved in it?
You need to go back to the Healthcare Reform Act that the Clintons put in. That's when it all started. I got into healthcare in 1996. Just before that, made all those changes.
Wow.
And the Clinton and all that stuff they did was what started all this.
Well, Carol, thank you for the call. Thank you for the information. And we're going to continue breaking it down in a way that a simpleton like Matt Murphy can understand it. MC has a comment about war. We'll do that next. It's 24 after the hour on Super Talk. Hello, friends. It's Matt Murphy for Contours. Keith, Stephanie, they are ready to see you, and I bet you are ready for springtime. Or, well, maybe you're not. Maybe you're ready, like emotionally. Maybe you're ready for the warmer conditions so you can wear that nice outfit that you've been hanging in the closet for months. Maybe you've got a beach trip that you're thinking about, or a cruise that's coming up, and you want to look your best. Contours LLC makes sure that you look your best, and they can do so quickly without all of the hassle of weight loss. And if you've just tried to get it off and you can't, they have their red light therapy. Their red light technology is insane. It's incredible. It works, and it will lose the inches immediately. Friends, it's right there in their guarantee. They guarantee you'll lose 2 inches on your midsection first treatment, or your first treatment is at no cost. That's what it's all about. So I've done this, and I lost 2.67 inches on my first treatment. And that treatment is a belly buster special of $99. Ask Keith about this special. Ask him about the Murphy special. Ask him about how he can help you and his team at Contours lose the inches that you've been meaning to lose. You can fit in your clothes better, and you'll look better, and you'll weigh less. I mean, it's all about the total package, friends. Spring is here. Let's get in our best shape with Contours LLC. Go to contoursllc.com or call today to schedule 615-236-9960, 236-9960.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast and traffic coming up in 5 minutes. Right now in Tennessee, U.S. National Weather Service crews are confirming it was an EF1 tornado packing winds between 86 and 110 miles per hour that damaged homes in Lawrence County last night. Channel 4 spoke to a man where a double-wide trailer was blown across a road and into a pond.
Wind just picked up out of nowhere, and then all the windows in the back of the house just shattered. And it's terrible. I mean, debris everywhere, it's just horrible, horrible situation.
Yeah, homes damaged in Murray County, too. And over at the State House today, Channel 4 says a trio of immigration bills are on the way to becoming law. They passed full House floor votes today. One makes it illegal to come to Tennessee if a person has a final deportation order from the federal government or they've already been deported or denied entry into the U.S. A second bill is the undocumented students bill that requires students to show documentation proving U.S. citizenship or immigration status when enrolling in public schools. Channel 4 says this is part of a rigorous debate over the cost to taxpayers.
Why would we spend $55 million when we already know that all kids have the right under our Constitution to attend school?
I hear that 87% of all statistics are made up on the spot, including the 55 million you just stated.
The House passed a third immigration bill requiring state, county, and local governments to verify people they hire have legal status to work in the U.S. Operation Epic Fury update. President Trump says the campaign against Iran has been successful.
They have been literally obliterated. The Air Force is gone. The Navy is gone. Many, many ships have been sunk. They're warfighting ships, but I guess they didn't know how to use them.
But Iran's still attacking its neighbors. President Trump now appealing to other countries to help ensure safe passage in the Strait of Hormuz. The strait has been effectively closed to maritime traffic by Iran, and that has made oil and gas prices soar. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. Belmont area got a crash 65 northbound at Wedgwood Avenue. Brentwood a wreck 65 northbound at Old Hickory Boulevard. I'm Ken Weaver.
Hi, friends. It's Matt Murphy, and obviously it is the season where allergies become a little more prominent. I mean, pollen is coming. I understand the cold weather this week is going to tamp some of that down. The rain probably tamped a little of it down, too. But if you've got allergies seasonal, like I do, you need someone like Grace Point Healthcare in your life. Grace Point Healthcare is modern medicine delivered the old-fashioned way. They're a direct pay environment, meaning that you know exactly. I mean, we're talking about costs of healthcare. You know exactly what your costs are right up front at Grace Point Healthcare. They don't allow the insurance company to get in the way of their treatment with their patients. They just don't. That's why they say that they're modern medicine delivered the old-fashioned way, because this is the way that it ought to be, frankly. Now, they have the most modern medicine, and that advancement includes hormone therapy. It includes Botox. If you want to get rid of a few of those lines and wrinkles, they can help you out in that. Allergy sufferers, you don't have to suffer in silence. You can get your allergies treated. And new patients mentioning B12 shots or Matt Murphy, you can get yourself a free B12 injection on their first new patient visit now through the end of March. That is a spring gift from Grace Point to you. Grace Point Healthcare. Modern medicine delivered the old-fashioned way in Franklin, 599-6868, 599-6868. Hi, friends. Matt Murphy for Genesis Diamonds, the uncontested leader when it comes to engagement rings and fine jewelry is right here at Genesis Diamonds, the leader for over 20 years. Genesis disrupted the old school jewelers by offering a massive selection of hand-picked diamonds at ridiculously low prices. And years after year, they are voted best jeweler in Nashville and the best place to buy an engagement ring. Nobody even comes close. These days, Genesis owners are as committed as ever to staying ahead with an even larger selection of GIA-certified diamonds and a growing collection of exclusive designer rings that you cannot find anywhere else. And what people love? Nobody works on commission at Genesis. They are there to guide you to make a smart decision with total confidence without feeling like you're being taken advantage of or you're being sold something just to get an extra commission. Nope, they don't do it at Genesis. They treat you like family over there. Amazing store and incredible people. Genesis Diamonds, Green Hills, and Cool Springs. Please tell them Matt Murphy sent you online to genesisdiamonds.com. Super Talk 99.7 WTN. I'm going to slip MC in here because MC's waited for a while, and then we're getting to nincompoops in the news. The legislative session ran a little bit long, so I don't have Jody Barrett on today, but I'm going to continue to talk about these PBMs and what they mean for service in the state of Tennessee. I don't like it. It all feels skeevy. I don't know if the answer is to ban them or not. I don't know that we necessarily should have government to act as a bully bludgeon in favor of local pharmaceutical industries or local pharmaceutical companies or local pharmacists in favor of the Walgreens or the CVSs of the world. I don't know what the answer is. I just don't like the idea of this. It's not even a third party. It's a fourth party being involved. There's me. I'm party number one. My doctor is party number. Well, no, there's the fifth party. Everybody's at the party, and the only one that doesn't get to make any of the decisions is the patient. It is maddening because I go to the doctor, and then I got to have insurance, so that's party number three. Me, I'm one, doctor two, insurance three. And then the pharmacy's four, and now this PBM is five. What are they doing? Why can't the insurance companies work directly with the pharmacies? Why are there these third parties to begin with? MC wanted to talk about war. Hey, MC.
Hey, thanks for taking my call, and thank you for your work last night during the storm. Y'all were great.
Thank you.
Helped me know that I was safe. Your last caller told you about PBMs, and you're right about it, to be doubtful about them. But I want to talk about the war. I'm a former military guy, and I get my drugs from a Great and Grateful Nation at the VA down there at 24th in Garland, but in Nashville. But I think our NATO allies, especially the French and the Italians, can help us out by sending their tanks to Iran because they go in reverse all three speeds. And that's about all I got to say about it, brother. Keep up the good work, and Jackson always wins at Nincompoop's.
Well, he certainly has been doing pretty good lately, although he lost to the crown. Why have you not returned to the? Oh, did you? Oh, no, you retained
it. Rock, paper, scissors, buddy. Don't you try to take this away from me.
That's right. Ken won the day, so he gets to pick the order today. But you won the rock, paper, scissors, and eventually won the week. So you have the crown and the trophy for the week. Ladies and gentlemen, by the way, Ken, let me go second. It's time for Nincompoops in the News. Or first.
I get the trophy for the fellas of the show.
In the news.
Oh. Makes me sick to my stomach to think of it.
He's just rubbing it in, man.
The 1,000th show, and Jackson's going to possess the trophy and the crown in the presence of I know I'm number one. You don't have to tell me. In the present, Ken just told me I was number one.
I saw that.
In the presence of Dr. Mitchell's going to stop by for the 1,000th show, Ken.
Really?
With the Wellness Institute of Nashville. That's right. We're going to get to see him. I think he's got goodies that he's bringing us, and that's awesome. But he's going to get to watch what we have to deal with on a daily basis, and that is Jackson running around here like the cat that ate the canary.
Like the brick that hit the woodpecker, I'm inevitable.
If you missed Friday's show, Ken Weaver managed the victory on Friday. But if we have a tie for the week, our tiebreaker system is rock, paper, scissors. And Jackson has some sort of thing going on. I don't know if he's got a method. I don't know what's happening, but I don't think he's lost a rock, paper, scissors yet, Ken.
No, we tied on the first rock, paper, scissors. And I decided to stick with rock. Brother Jackson pivoted with paper, and paper covers the rock.
That's what I'm told.
Therefore,
That's what I'm told.
Brother Jackson won.
That's tough. That's tough. I know we all love it. I mean, I've only had the crown. I've had the crown and the trophy one time. One time.
I've had it twice.
This week, to help Ken Weaver out, if we tie, we'll play Pall Mall Woodpecker Brick.
I don't know what that is.
I don't either, but I'm hoping I'm hoping woodpecker's 2 words. So, Ken, what would you like for your order to be? Because despite the fact that Jackson won the week, Ken won the day, and the last daily winner gets to pick the order of the day's events. Ken, your order, sir?
I'm going to have to... I'm having a rough time with nincompoops today. I don't know what the order should be.
Oh, dear.
I'm going to have to... Murphy, me, and then... No, wait a minute. Yeah, Murphy, me, and then Brother Jackson.
Oh, Murphy, me. There's a song that sounds like that.
That's a good one,
That's Mercy Me. That's a great song.
Yes, sir.
Well, thank you there, Ken. I shall go first as instructed. A man who I hope this isn't a read. You know, you ever read them and
yes.
We've done so many of these and you don't know if they're repeats or not?
I know.
Have we done the karaoke rage guy?
I did that Friday.
Yes. Yeah, we did that.
Damn it.
I know, man. It's getting harder and harder to find the nincompoops in the news, but somehow Jackson finds them.
How did you lose with karaoke rage guy? What'd Ken do on Friday?
Ken had a better one.
I can't remember what I did.
All right, I've got it. I'm gonna call an audible, and you know what? This might not win me any friends or influence many people, but I'm gonna harken back to the 3 o'clock hour, and I'm going to offer you that the nincompoops in the news for today, and this is obviously a pivot because I had my story. Jackson says my story's no good. I got to go to a different one. My nincompoops in the news today, ladies and gentlemen. The Hollywood elite. They had their mutual masturbation society party last night.
What?
They gathered together in all of their finery, some of them wearing half of nothing, next to nothing. And they stood there in a room together and sat there in a room together. And they told themselves about how awesome they are. And they expect that the world will fall down in adulation for their triumphs.
Yeah.
And we don't do so.
No.
They also tried to remind us that they're better than us, and they don't know jack squat about what it is to live in the real world. They just don't. They live in their ivory towers behind their 10, 12, 14-foot gates. They tell us that we ought not to have any gates, that we ought not to have any towers. They've got theirs, and we ought not to have ours. They don't know the real world. They couldn't tell you what a gallon of milk costs. They couldn't tell you what a price of gasoline costs because they don't know. Yet they preach to us about how the way things ought to be. And I say, no, I'm not listening to a gathering of elitist, nonsensical, liberal nincompoops. Hollywood elite. My nincompoops in the news.
Nincompooperi.
There you go. Ken Weaver?
Brother Ken Weaver's turn.
Yes, sir.
This is out of South Georgia. An outfit, WALB. Law enforcement will never ask for nude photos. Feds warn of rising phone scams in South Georgia. Scammers posing as law enforcement and court officials ramping up their efforts across South Georgia. Some of the most disturbing reports involve callers demanding nude photos or explicit videos from victims, often women, under the threat of arrest or legal trouble.
Often women.
United States Attorney Will Keyes said his office is seeing an increase in phone scams where criminals pretend to be law enforcement officers, sheriff's deputies, or court personnel. He says individuals were told to submit nude images or to conduct a search. Of course, law enforcement would never require this of someone, and these individuals were posing as law enforcement. Victims said a caller claimed to be with a local agency, ordered them to go to a nearby store, take off their clothes in a restroom, and then take photos of themselves to prove they were not hiding anything or to comply with an investigation. Authorities say these callers are not legitimate officers. Instead, they are scammers using fake names, spoofed phone numbers, and fear tactics to control and exploit victims.
Yikes. Yikes. So they're just...
You can't...
I mean...
I'm sorry that they were victimized, but they're nincompoops. Somebody calls you and claims to be law enforcement, and they need a photo of you naked.
No. I mean...
Don't do it.
I mean, I want to say the scammers are the nincompoops, Ken.
No, they're actually not.
I kind of believe that the people are the nincompoops.
It's the victims.
I mean, it's one thing to say, hey, we've got Mr. Weaver, we have a warrant out for your arrest, and we can handle this over the telephone, and that'll prevent officers from having to come out to your home, so you need to send us $500. Now, I can kind of get how that works.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean,
Right.
people freak out, but Mr. Weaver, we've got a warrant for your arrest. You are accused of high crimes and nakedness and being a nincompoop, and we're going to need to see your twig and berries, sir.
Take a naked picture of yourself and send it to us.
And that'll solve the problem.
Yes.
Man, those are nincompoops. Jackson,
Yes.
it's your turn.
Y'all see my trophy?
Everybody sees your trophy. It looks nice. Rub on it for the cameras.
I think he's been polishing it up.
You know, I get to have it for the 1,000th show. Does that make you sad? Your big day, I get the prize trophy.
I feel like it's our big day, Jackson. I feel like we all contribute to the show in our own fashion, in our own way. By the way, Ken Weaver just accused you of polishing your trophy right here on the radio.
I did.
You did too.
I did.
You did too. You said, I think he's been polishing his trophy.
Well, I keep it so often that, I mean, I have the time to. Y'all only keep it for a week at a time.
You're how many times have you won it? Are you keeping track?
This is my fourth.
You know who he is.
4 to 2 to 1. That's what we're dealing with.
Yep.
4 to 2 to 1.
He's taking over nincompoops.
I don't.
All right, are y'all ready?
Yes, sir.
He knows them well.
Naked man found in parking garage faces indecent exposure charges. Man arrested for exposure and possession of drug paraphernalia at a Lake House Apartments in Orange County, Florida. Incident involved indecent act in parking garage. Early on March 15th, a man was arrested after police discovered him naked in a parking garage at the Lake House Apartments. Samuel Troop is charged with exposure of sexual organs and possession of drug paraphernalia in connection with the incident in Orange County. Local officers responded to the complex around 1:10 a.m. The arrest followed a prior complaint on March 14th when a caller reported Troop walking through the parking garage naked and Oscaring himself.
What? Okay.
Oscar.
I don't know what that means.
What did you say the Oscars was, Matt?
Oh. The old MMS.
Yes.
Okay.
Officers couldn't locate the suspect at the time. The victim told police
I didn't get it.
that she was walking on the first floor of the parking garage when she saw a naked man exposing himself and Oscaring. She directed officers to a small room on the same floor where the man had entered.
That's what we're always going to call it now.
The officer reported entering the room and seeing Troop sitting on the ground, according to the police report. He was completely naked and had no clothing with him at the time of the encounter.
Where was his clothes?
Police noted that Troop admitted he was under the influence of methamphetamine during the incident. Troop faces charges of exposure of sexual organs and possession of drug paraphernalia.
You think? Wait, he had...
Yeah, where'd he keep his crack
He
pipe?
had drug paraphernalia? Where was that?
I don't know. I'm guessing officers asked for a picture.
Oh,
I bet they did.
Goodness. Oscaring.
You combined all three nincompoops in one little story there, Jackson. That's pretty good.
Tie a nice little bow on it. Vote for me.
He's such a baby if you don't, but I don't think you should. I think you should vote for Ken or vote for Matt. You can vote on the YouTube chat. Those votes now count for 5, right?
I think one
3.
vote for me should count as 5.
I agree with you, Ken. You can also vote on the Super Text line, 615-737-9986, 615-737-9986, or on the YouTube chat. Those are the 2 official ways to vote for Nincompoops in the News. Vote Matt, vote Jackson, vote Ken Weaver. It is 10 until the top on Super Talk. Bye-bye. Hello, friends. Matt Murphy for Defend Systems. Life's crazy, right? I mean, we get that. I mean, it's a dangerous world. You need to be planning for the possibility that you might encounter a negative situation in your life. What happens if you do? Defend Systems is a life safety and security consultation firm based right in Middle Tennessee. We've talked to Brink Fiddler often about their expertise and everything they do to benefit you, your company, your place of business, your church, wherever people gather. If you're a decision maker at a school, corporation, healthcare facility, law firm, manufacturing facility, wherever it might be, please listen up. Give Brink a call and allow him to talk about what he does for you and your staff, your customers. He can benefit them by helping your employees and others in your facility understand what to do in the unlikely event that you have a workplace violence situation, an active shooter situation, some sort of medical emergency, intruder and action plans available with Defend Systems. Reach out today at 615-236-6484, 236-6484 to find out more, or go online to defendsystems.com. That's defendsystems.com. Hello, friends. Matt Murphy for Accurate Mortgage. We're hearing about mortgage rates fluctuating. They've gone down recently. One of the reasons that I made the decision to buy my home when I did was because of my ability to get a reduced mortgage rate. Now, it's not at the historic lows where they have been, and I understand that. However, we don't want you to think that you can't purchase a home because home prices have gone down recently. You can get better prices on that home and a lower interest rate than we've had in the past several years. Besides, what's the old saying? You date the rate and you marry the home. And at Accurate Mortgage, they get that. They're never going to advise you to do a bad mortgage. They just don't. They live in our community. They're our neighbors. They're our friends. Mike and his team, they've assembled together, are just great at what they do. And they help you figure out exactly what you need with regard to rates, what you need if you're considering a refi, what to do if you're considering a mortgage to improve the look of your home or to build onto the home. They do it all at Accurate Mortgage. And they're local, and I love that. AccurateMTG.com, AccurateMTG.com, Accurate Mortgage, NMLS 129944. Rates and terms subject to change. Equal housing lender.
At least one tornado confirmed to have hit Middle Tennessee last night. We'll tell you about that and other top stories coming up at 6 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Matt Murphy and the Matt Murphy Radio Show continues. Glad to have you along for the ride. Another hour to go. It's a Monday edition, episode 998. And what would a 998th episode be without Mike and Old Hickory? Now, before Mike starts in, Mike, I got a coffee mug with your likeness on it that a wonderful listener sent to me. It says Mike and Old Hickory. There's a radio there. There's a couple of dogs. You're looking very angry. Your likeness is looking very angry. And I'm offering this coffee mug to you. We just have to meet together in person for me to give you this gift. So if you are willing, we'll get together. How about that, Mike?
Well, we'll hold off on that until you answer this question. Who does God report to? The Pope? Because the Pope now says that, any Christian that wants to go to war has to go to confession. In other words, we have to answer to go to confession. So then I thought about that, and I said, well, didn't God go to war with Sodom and Gomorrah? And didn't he go to war with the Egyptians on the Red Sea and all that? And now the Pope today's Pope says that God has to answer to him. Is that what the Catholic Church is, or that Pope is? He thinks that God has to answer to him and confess.
I'm really not the go-to expert on the Catholic Church, Mike. But if you're asking me, if the question is, and I think I understood it correctly, if the question is, who does God report to? My official Matt Murphy answer is going to be nobody.
Exactly. And so we have a Pope today that is saying anybody that is starting, any Christians, and he said that, any Christians starting wars needs to go to the confession box. So I'm thinking, well, what do you mean needs to go to the confession box? To do what? Confess what? And so does God have to confess to a Pope?
Are you Catholic, Mike?
No, not anymore.
Well, then what
I
do you?
left that
What?
church
Well, I'm not
30
either.
years
I'm not
ago.
either. So I ask this with all due respect. What do we care?
I don't. I left during the raping of little boys, altar boys, and I was an altar boy, and I did a raping, and I wasn't part of that, and I wasn't raped and all that kind of stuff. But the Catholic Church spent billions and billions. They're a fake church.
No, sure they do. No, so
anyway.
So I mean, I understand that, and I'm not trying to get in an argument with you. But then why did you call about it if you don't really care?
Well, because the Pope is now saying, and the Pope carries big weight around the world. And when the Pope says that Trump
does he really? Does he? I don't think he does. I mean, maybe wait within the church. I mean, I understand the Catholic Church is pretty big, but you know, I don't think the Pope carries. I don't think the Pope carries political weight. I just don't. I mean, I don't think the Pope carries political weight. Mike, I want to get you this coffee mug, buddy. I really do.
Yeah.
Come on,
well,
let me do that.
We will do that in the future.
All right.
When the governor of Tennessee becomes Marsha Blackburn.
Okay. Well, I mean, I hope to see you before then, Mike. But if it takes Marsha Blackburn becoming the governor, I guess I'll take that under advisement as well. It is 1 minute past 6 o'clock. You're listening to Super Talk 99.7 WTN. One more hour to go. Stand by. Here comes Ken Weaver and the news.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Full forecast traffic coming up in 5 minutes. Right now in Middle Tennessee, U.S. National Weather Service surveyors working to determine if tornadoes caused the damage in Murray County, where residents tell Channel 4 they feared the worst.
I was standing in the middle floor. It scared me to death. I was standing in the middle floor and it hit my windows shadow. I couldn't move. I was scared.
I thought it was going to implode. It felt like the house was breathing. So it was just vibrating, and it felt like everything was going to suck into the house. I don't know how to explain it.
Now, in Lawrence County, it has been confirmed. Widespread damage to homes, a business, and trees was from an EF1 tornado. They can pack winds between 86 and 110 miles per hour. There was a brand new double-wide trailer blown across a road and into a pond there in Lawrence County. Amongst all the damage. Operation Epic Fury at the White House today. The president claims some countries have offered to help protect oil shipments through the Strait of Hormuz.
Numerous countries have told me they're on the way. Some are very enthusiastic about it, and some aren't. Some are countries that we've helped for many, many years. We've protected them from horrible outside sources, and they weren't that enthusiastic. And the level of enthusiasm matters to me.
EU nations and the UK have said they don't want to get involved in the Iran war. Meanwhile, the White House chief of staff gets life-changing news, but not a change in duties. President Trump revealing Susie Wiles is battling early-stage breast cancer. He says she has a fantastic medical team and an excellent outlook. Wiles is starting treatment immediately, plans to stay fully engaged in her role during treatment. Trump says her commitment shows her strength and dedication to serving the country. And a labor dispute at one of the nation's biggest meat packing plants threatens to boost beef prices nationwide. Here's ABC's Jim Ryan.
With a temperature hovering around 20 degrees, nearly 4,000 workers at the Swift Beef Company plant in Greeley, Colorado walked off the job before sunrise, demanding better pay and working conditions and compensation for safety equipment they say the company doesn't provide. Swift's parent company says it's offered a 60-cent per hour raise. The union says that doesn't take Colorado's high cost of living into consideration.
And if you picked up Costco's meatloaf with mashed Yukon potatoes and a glaze, you may need to check your fridge. The chain has issued a recall due to a possible salmonella contamination from a supplier. The meals were sold between March 2nd and 13th in several states, including Tennessee. Costco says no illnesses have been reported, but urges customers to return the product for a refund. That's the latest news. Traffic and weather next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News. Dixon, we've got debris in the center lane, 40 westbound before Centerville, Dixon, Tennessee 46, exit 172. Right now in Hendersonville, police activity has the right lane blocked. Vietnam Veterans Boulevard westbound just past New Shackle Island. I'm Ken Weaver.
Oh, my goodness. Jackson, you're getting votes for coining the term Oscaring, although I feel like I should get partial credit for it. But one way or the other, voting closes in about a minute, and we'll give you an update on the votes. Just after our first break, that comes at about 6:20 or so, where you get the results of Nincompoops in the News. I'm trying to be better about that because people have complained that we don't often give the results same day, and people are interested in who has won based on the various stories. It's a tight race today, fellas. I'd like to say that I'm in the lead, but I'm not. Although I'm getting my fair share of votes, I feel like I should get every vote that Jackson gets because of the Oscaring term. That's what I feel. But, you know, that's maybe just me. 615-737-9986 if you'd like to be a part of the show. 615-737-9986. We always enjoy the interaction on the telephones and on the super text line. We've already discussed a little bit of the Iranian situation. President Donald Trump earlier today said that things are going well in the campaign. The Strait of Hormuz is the sticky wicket. It has been a disruption. Obviously, we've seen the price at the pump go up. That is a temporary spike in oil prices, resulting in a temporary spike in gasoline prices. The idea is, I'm not saying it will be successful or not successful. I'm telling you what the idea is that if you engage Iran and you get more stable, more friendly, willing to work with their neighbors and partners, less sponsoring of terrorism, more working to build their economy in the natural way, in Iran, then you'll get a more stable region. A more stable region will produce better results in terms of oil production. That's going to stabilize all of that and lower prices in the long term. Add that to the Venezuelan situation or the Venezuelan solution, and there you go. Donald Trump did earlier today say that he's been speaking with agents from Cuba, and they hope to come to a nice conclusion with that nation as well in terms of moving them toward a more democratic process. Now, I'm not making a value judgment on it. I'm just telling you what the president had to say about it. I don't disagree that we need more stability, certainly in our hemisphere, and more stability around the rest of the world isn't a bad thing either. So I don't know where this goes. I'm trusting that our president is all in. There were reports today that were third-hand reports. Oh, I hear that someone in the White House said that Donald Trump said that he's not happy with the way that the war's going. I'm not buying into all of this crap, and I'm not speaking to it unless I get some direct reporting from the White House about who this was. This is the way the mainstream media has treated Donald Trump since 2015. Person A within his orbit says B about the president of the United States or the candidate that's running for president of the United States. And person A says that Donald Trump is very angry about this, that, or the other thing. And privately, it's all hell's breaking loose. And, oh, this is happening and that's happening. And nobody ever names names, and it is largely debunked on the back end after it does the damage that it does. And I'm not buying into this media narrative anymore. Speaking of media narratives, I want to talk about this. Why is it not a bigger deal that the government is partially shut down, causing major disruption in our airports around the United States of America? Why do you think that is? Why do you believe that it is that the mainstream media while they're making, mention of it, I suppose, it's really not leading any news cycle. It's not even in a B block or even a C block. I mean, it is a mention. And I get it that a lot of things are happening around the globe. I get that Iran is a big deal. I suppose that we have a few other things going on. But what would be a bigger deal than a partial government shutdown for the mainstream press? Now, obviously, when you're dealing with the alphabet soups, ABC, NBC, CBS, of course, hashtag never CNN. A reminder for you newbies, we call them hashtag never CNN because you should never watch CNN. Hashtag never CNN. It is a garbage network full of garbage talking head people spewing, garbage. Besides, that's what I'm here for. I watch so you don't have to. I consider it an occupational hazard. And I engage in it every day. And it makes me want to throw up in my mouth. And not because they're left. I can handle MS Now. I even call them by their appropriate name. I've learned how to do so. Brother Chris Hand had taught me how to do that. Chris Hand told me that I was engaging in dead naming. That's what he told me. Said, Murphy, you're dead naming MSNBC. Why are you doing that? Well, because I can't remember the new stupid name. I think it's a stupid name. Don't you think MS Now is a stupid name? I do. I guess no stupider than MSNBC, but I mean, at least that made sense. You're owned by NBC, and Microsoft is, one of the biggest sponsors of your whatever. So, I mean, I guess. I don't know. But I don't blame MS Now for what they do. They're a leftist news organization. They don't pretend to be anything other than a leftist news organization, and they present the news from a leftist point of view. When I watch Sean Hannity at night, I expect that Sean Hannity is going to have a right-of-center approach to his interviews, a right-of-center opinion on some things, and most of it I agree on. Some of it I don't. I don't watch him very often. But I expect that commentary is going to be right of center as well. I think that Fox News does a hell of a lot of a better job than MSNBC or anybody else on networks for that matter, reporting fairly and accurately the totality of the stories that they cover. But I watch hashtag never CNN so you don't have to. So why do you believe, is there any possible reason that we can think of that they would not be covering this partial government shutdown story a little more vocally, a little more regularly? Why is this not a bigger deal? Because this shutdown, this partial government shutdown, and the inability to get the government back reopened, and the long lines at the airport that have frustrated so many hundreds of thousands, if not millions of Americans, and sadly, the security gaps that we're seeing within the Department of Homeland Security that could potentially be exploited, especially by homegrown or otherwise terrorist cells in the United States of America, all of that's at the foot of the Democrats, every single bit of it. Every single bit of it. Because they don't like, and this is the reason in a nutshell, friends, you don't have to analyze this any deeper than this. The Democrats don't like the laws that are on the books regarding immigration. That's it. They do not have the votes to change them. The American people do not want to change them. These laws have been on the books for decades. These laws that exist regarding immigration and what to do with illegal immigrants that are found in the United States of America predate Donald Trump, every single one of them. Donald Trump has not unilaterally changed immigration law. He has chosen to enforce it. Donald Trump has not rewritten immigration policy or law. He has chosen to enforce it. Donald Trump did not restructure the southern border. He's enforcing it and defending it. Donald Trump, not one single law on the books regarding what we do to individuals that come into the United States of America illegally was written by Donald Trump. Not one of them. So when these knuckleheads on the talking head networks talk about Donald Trump's immigration policy, it's nonsense. That is America's immigration policy, and it has always been America's immigration policy. Sadly, far too few of our previous presidents, from Reagan on up, had the intestinal fortitude, the cojones, to actually enforce it. Donald Trump does. And because, I'm not even talking about somewhat because or as a side note, almost primarily because of Joe Biden's decision to open up the southern border and do nothing about the illegals that flooded into the United States of America for 4 years. Donald Trump has, in his effort to enforce America's immigration policy, he's had to take a very forward and heavy-handed approach to get the bad guys the hell out of the country. And the majority of the American people, when it's put that way, agree with him. They agree with him. Now, I've long asked two very simple questions. I don't think these are hard questions. And if you encounter any of your liberal friends, if you have any, if you encounter any left of center folk that want to yell and scream about Trump's immigration policy and Trump doesn't like brown people and Trump's Hitler, ask them just very calmly. You don't have to engage on the Trump front. Say to them, hey, liberal, let me ask you this. Should there be rules as to how you get into America? And they'll look at you like you just ate a cockroach. And you'll say, oh, well, everybody wants to come. So I feel like if we just opened up the floodgates, we would be overrun. So should there be rules as to, I'm not asking you what those should be, just should there be some? And the only sane answer to that, for anyone that believes that we should have a sovereign nation, is yes. Yeah, there should be. And then they'll want to, but I disagree with Donald Trump. He's stealing people in the dead of night. He's arresting American citizens. So hold on. So there should be rules. Okay. Well, what do you do to the people that break them? These two simple questions destroy liberal minds. Try it. You'll enjoy it. Now, I bring all of that up because the mainstream media will not bring up any of this backstory when discussing the partial government shutdown. The partial government shutdown exists because of Joe Biden. It exists because Joe Biden allowed anyone and everyone that wanted to come. And we saw American citizens getting slaughtered. We saw American citizens getting killed at the hands of illegal aliens. We saw murders. We saw rapes. We saw robberies. We saw lawlessness and crimes run rampant during the Biden administration, and many of them, not all of them, not even a majority of them, but many of them were committed by illegal aliens, people who should not have been here to begin with. And so Donald Trump gets into office and he commits himself. We're going to solve this problem, and we got to do it. And we got to go into these cities that don't like us very much, and we're going to use our authority granted to us by the Congress of the United States of America, and we're going to get to the bottom of this. We're going to get these people out of here. We're going to make America safe again. And Donald Trump and his administration through the Department of Homeland Security made some pretty big omelets. And yes, broke a few eggs as a result. And yes, made a few mistakes. Any system this large, you're going to have mistakes. And all the media will do is highlight those mistakes. All the media is going to do is highlight the few things that we've gotten wrong and not all of the thousands and thousands of things that we got right. They won't talk about Lake and Riley. They want to talk about Renee Good. And Democrats, insane as they are, attempt to seize on what they believe is a winning strategy. And so they say, we're not funding DHS anymore. What, you're not funding the organization that is charged with the duty of enforcing the policies that you, Congress, passed? and that previous presidents have signed? My goodness. Makes zero sense. How about if you've got the will of the American people behind you, how about you change the policy? How about you restate American policy when it comes to immigration to the point that we just allow anybody to get in here that wants, or say, hey, we're gonna enforce the border, but if you get beyond the border, then you get to stay because, rules don't mean anything anymore. And the mainstream media refuses to cover it. Senate Democrats are now saying publicly and privately that they want to end the government shutdown. Why is the mainstream media not reporting on it? They've said they want to end the shutdown, but they repeatedly block any GOP attempt to reopen the government, to reopen specifically the Department of Homeland Security, because they want, quote, reform to immigration enforcement. They don't want reform to policy. They don't want reform to the laws that they passed. They want to limit the ability to enforce the laws that they passed. On what planet does this make sense? The policies will remain the same. The same people that aren't supposed to be here still aren't supposed to be here, but we want to neuter the ability of the administration to actually get their asses out of here. On what planet does that make sense? It doesn't. It makes a little, I guess it makes sense on Planet Liberal. So now the Democrats are publicly, we want this shutdown to end. So back to the original point. Why isn't the media covering it? Because this doesn't make any sense. They created the partial shutdown. They own the partial shutdown. They claim they want to end it, and all they would have to do, much like last year, all they would have to do is vote to end it, and it would end. They'll end it as soon as they realize what we already know, is that this is not a winning strategy to win elections, and all they care about is winning elections. They don't care about governing. They don't care about the rule of law, and they sure as hell don't care about you. They care about votes, and they know illegal aliens are voting, and they don't want to stop it, which brings us to the SAVE Act, which we'll discuss in a moment on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hello, friends. It's Matt Murphy for U.S. Pest. J.K. and Erica Brister are the owners of the fine pest control company called U.S. Pest. And, oh, by the way, I don't mention this enough, but if you're already a customer and you refer a neighbor or a friend or a family member, did you know that you receive a $50 credit on your account for a free mosquito, tick, or a flea treatment? Oh, that's either or, credit on the account, or that mosquito, tick, and flea treatment. That's just one of the opportunities for U.S. Pest that they offer you to refer them to a friend or a neighbor. I refer them all the time. Why? Because they're the best in the business, and they're growing by leaps and bounds because people recognize that every home in the state of Tennessee is threatened by some pest of one form or another. All of them are threatened by termites. So whether it's crawl space service you're looking for, fungus treatments, termite protection, corrective and preventative, or full-service pest control to keep all of those nasties out of your home. They want what's yours. They want to get inside of your home and enjoy the AC when it's hot and the heat when it's cool. You keep them out of the home by contacting U.S. Pest. USPest.com is the website, USPest.com. Schedule a free pest and termite inspection today or call at 615-590-1260, 590-1260. U.S. Pest. Two things you need to know about them. They love these United States of America, and they hate bugs. It's U.S. Pest. Hello, friends. Matt Murphy for Savory Spice. Our friends at Savory Spice absolutely love seeing you. I just had a listener write into me on the super text line. I can't find it now because we have thousands of votes for nincompoops. But they said, Matt, thank you for introducing us to Savory Spice. I think I'm saying this correctly. They said they went in on Saturday, and they absolutely loved the place down in Franklin. You will, too. If you've never been, you got to go. It's a beautiful shop. They've got great gift-giving ideas. They've got the Spice and Easy line of products, which makes cooking so easy. If you're on a budget, they've got something for you. If you're on a time crunch and you've just got to get some meals created pretty quickly, they have options for you as well. Plus, I mean, obviously, they've got all the delicious spices that you know and love. If you need to restock the cupboards, they're there for you. If you're looking for something exotic, they're there for you. Or just because gift, they're there for you as well. The cook in your life will love something from Savory Spice. I promise you that. So go out and see them. You'll smell them. Before you walk through the door, the aroma is absolutely delicious. It's Savory Spice, located just next to Grace Pharmacy in Franklin. You know what I say? You up your food game by upping your spice game, and you up your spice game with the one and only Savory Spice. Yeah, how's it going to feel when it's in the 80s? That's what I want to know. I'm sorry, I should not continue to talk to the weather lady who has a recorded announcement. I should talk to you about efficient heating and cooling. I mean, here's the deal. I know this. It's cold outside and you need the heater to work, right? Right? And then it's going to be hot outside later on in the week and you need the AC to work. It's that time of year in the state of Tennessee. And if something's not going right, I know the man, Jeff Eddy, in efficient heating and cooling. Oh, boy, he's got such qualified folks. Let me just sing the praises of Roger for a minute. Roger came out to my house during the ice storm and got my heater working again. And sadly, it was we had a fatal situation involving the heating and air conditioning in that unit. And we had to replace it, but we exhausted all the opportunities. They don't promise to be 100% when it comes to being able to fix it, but they will exhaust every possible opportunity to fix it. That saves you money. Plus, if you do the maintenance in the proper fashion, you can extend the life of that unit by getting that maintenance done. And if you've not gotten your AC done yet, friends, you need to do so. Jeff Eddy wants to come out to your home, and never will he charge you over $125 in his service area, no matter how many units you have. Like we got the upstairs and downstairs at the house, and it's not going to cost us over $125 to get them maintained. Efficient Heating and Cooling, efficienthvac.net, efficienthvac.net. They're an Elite Pro partner with Rheem. 615-784-4424, 615-784-4424. Oh, boy, it's neck and neck. It's neck and neck. It's neck and neck. Weaver, Jackson, Weaver, Matt. Jackson, Weaver, Matt. Jackson, the coining of Oscaring wins by vote. Jackson, Ken. My good. Jackson. Oh, man. Oh, boy, you got a lot of votes early. Matt for the win. I'm totaling up votes.
Don't forget I won the YouTube poll.
Wait a minute. Are you loading that poll? What do you? I don't see a winner there. It says Nincompoop's winner, Matt. Where's the? I don't see the vote totals. Why don't I see the vote totals, Jackson? Did you clear the vote totals?
Nincompoop's winner, poll complete, 79 votes. Jackson, 41%. Matt, 39%. Ken Weaver, 20%.
Did you vote?
I did not.
You sure?
I'm positive.
I did. Jackson, you and Ken are neck and neck. I think you squeaked out a victory here. I'm going to reassess the votes. I think that's true, but I'm not going to. Don't hold me to that. I'm going to do a recount. It's just that close. But I think you squeaked a victory out on Nincompoops in the News today. 38 minutes after the hour, Super Talk 99.7 WTN. A few more things to talk about before we say goodnight. Look, it is the mainstream media tried to score the Democrats a victory during the last government shutdown, and they were unable to do so. The people are seeing through this garbage now. When it comes to the SAVE Act, we have Marsha Blackburn coming on tomorrow, and I'm going to directly question Marsha about her support of the Senate Majority Leader and why senators who are supportive of the SAVE Act continue to support John Thune. Now, John Thune says he's got a vote coming up this week. But if you don't change the rules of the filibuster, I'm not asking for an elimination of the filibuster. I understand that a lot of senators are loath to support that. I'm loath to support it. The Senate should be a cooling off body. We want less legislation, not more. What I'm asking is to go back to the 1975 rule. The 1975 rule is very different than this 60-vote majority deal. Because that's 60 votes of sworn members, not 60 votes of not 3/5 of members present. And that's what I want. I want 3/5 of members present. That means you can't be in Florida and threaten a filibuster and get away with it. You can't be in Delaware or California and threaten a filibuster and get away with it. You have to go, be on the body, and filibuster. You have to actually, I'm talking about a talking filibuster. John Thune doesn't want to do that because John Thune is lazy. And his other colleagues, Democrat and Republican, they whine because they're lazy. Time to work for a living. And if you octogenarians can't handle it, we'll get some younger people in there that can. I mean, I'm not trying to be ageist. I'm trying to be realistic. You think Mitch McConnell cares about the future of the United States of America? Or do you think he cares about his legacy? The future of the United States of America is like a year and a half for Mitch McConnell. I mean, I'm not trying to be nasty. It's true. Maybe we do need younger people that are better representative of the future of this country instead of these octogenarians that couldn't stand for 20 minutes, much less talk for 20 minutes. So, yeah, the SAVE Act, we'll talk to Marsha Blackburn coming on at 3:40-ish tomorrow. At 4 o'clock tomorrow, Justin Owen with the Beacon Center will be here. We're going to discuss the Education Scholarship Fund. Justin saw my social media post where I questioned why the urgency in passing this before we get the full data as to the results of the education. I've talked to several members of leadership in the General Assembly as well. They're not very happy. I mean, my perception is they're not very happy with me in the General Assembly, the supporters of the Education Scholarship Fund. I supported the Scholarship Fund last year. I'm willing to give it a go, but I don't believe that everything that government does is going to work, and I certainly don't want to expand something before we get all the data in that indicates that it worked in the fashion that we intended it. Because what we're now doing is kind of trading systems that don't work for systems that do, and we're paying more money for it, and I just want to know who's getting that money. That's all. And is this accomplishing what we were told it was set to do? Now, I've been disabused of this notion from time to time over the last several days because I was told that, this was never designed to help failing schools. Well, then what are we doing if it wasn't designed to help failing schools? I had a member of leadership tell me that. The Education Scholarship Fund was not designed to impact the failing systems. Well, then why aren't you closing down those systems? So we'll talk with Justin Owen about that tomorrow on the radio show as well. And then very excited to have a return of Congressman Andy Ogles. Andy will be here at 4:35 tomorrow afternoon. Obviously, we will ask him about some of the comments he has made regarding Muslims in the United States of America. He also, Congressman Andy Ogles, also Friday, I guess it was, announced a plan to file an immigration bill that would target chain migration, the H-1B visa program, and diversity lottery visas, also strengthening character requirements and the amount of vetting required for approval to immigrate to the United States of America. I don't necessarily have an issue with this legislation on its face. I think we need to push back in a more forceful way with local communities that are allowing the creep of Sharia law. But I also think that it is wrong to say that Muslims do not comport with Western civilization carte blanche. I think that's wrong. I understand why we have concerns over the religion of Islam. I understand. I've read and I'm up on the reading of Islam, and I understand the difference between bad Muslims and good Muslims and how you can flip that backwards and forwards and whatever. But I also believe that our country was clearly designed to present no religious test for public service and no religious test to be a United States citizen on its founding. If we want to change that, if the world dynamic has changed as such, where we want to have a discussion about altering the Constitution, amending the United States Constitution that would prevent individuals who are from a certain religion from entry into the United States of America, I suppose I'm willing to have that talk. But I don't know that I believe in a country that has a government that is big enough and powerful enough that they become the thought police. I believe in a government that does the will of the people through the force of law based on actions, not based on words, not based on thoughts, not based on feelings, on actions. And if I deprive others of their life, their liberty, their pursuit of happiness through force or fraud, then I believe in a government that has the power to act against me and to place me within the judicial process by which I will be judged by a jury of my peers and, if found guilty, sentenced in accordance to the law. What I don't think is that the government should have the ability or the power, and this is what seemed to be the insinuation of Ogles when he said this, to knock on my door and to make sure that I'm not, Muslim. Now, a lot of you are hitting me up. I am fully aware. You don't have to tell me that, the difference between a good Muslim and a bad Muslim. I get it. And I understand that depends on who you're talking to. And most radical Islamists consider most Muslims who live in the United States of America to be bad Muslims. Most radical Islamists in the Middle East consider most Muslims that live in the United States of America to be infidels because they don't believe they are properly practicing their faith, because they are not engaged in any direct way with the idea of subjugation and hierarchy. Well, some are, Ilhan Omar. In the meantime, the captain of the Iranian women's soccer team has now said that she has withdrawn her bid for asylum in Australia, making her the latest member to do so. Zara Janbari, I hope I'm pronouncing that name correctly, 34, is, quote, returning to the embrace of the homeland, end quote, after withdrawing her asylum bid Sunday. That, according to Iran's IRNA news agency. Shiva Amini, an exiled Iranian former soccer player, claimed the players chose to go home following, quote, intense and systematic pressure on the players' families from the Iranian Football Federation. Let me explain to you clearly what's happening. So if you are not following this story, and I think you should be, and how in the world has this escaped noticed by the Hollywood elites? They all gathered at their MMS. They were Oscaring themselves last night in Hollywood, and not a mention of the Iranian soccer team and their strength and courage for withstanding the abusive and oppressive regime that is Iran. 7 members of the national Iranian team took part in the Women's Asian Cup. They made headlines last week when they sought sanctuary in Australia after backlash over their refusal to sing their national anthem at the tournament. They were told that there would be swift reprisal upon their return to Iran. Torture, beatings, death, maybe all three. Their display of defiance occurred just as the United States and Israel launched airstrikes on Iran, killing the supreme leader, the Ayatollah. The women were branded traitors. Their safety was put into question should they return home. And so they defected. After the defecting players caused an international uproar over their situation, President Trump offered to have them come to the United States of America. 5 of the 7 women have now opted to return home to the Islamic Republic. It is believed that they are doing so under duress because their families were rounded up, their families were put into prisons. It is believed their families have potentially been tortured and have been threatened with death. The players, according to the Australia Home Affairs Minister, the players were given repeated chances to talk about their options, but ultimately faced, quote, incredibly difficult decisions. Families have been detained. Family members are missing, according to Fox News. One thing I would like for people in the West to understand is that Iranians within the country have, in many ways, given up on the West. They're only relying on one another to survive the regime, she said. We're very worried about them. So, I mean, this is just sad. Absolutely sad. These women had the strength of courage to stand up against an oppressive regime like Iran, and now their families are being threatened, and they have to go back home to save their families. And they have no idea what is waiting for them. Torture. Almost certainly torture. Beatings, almost certainly beatings. Death, probably. These women will enter Iran and they will never be heard from again. And liberals are silent. Silent. Because they don't want to say anything that might have any resemblance of support of Donald Trump. They hate Trump more than they hate the abuses that women see. Oh, if you don't believe me, this knucklehead, give me a little, hold on a second. I'll tell you when. This knucklehead, Joy Reid says that, well, let's just let her say it for herself. Joy Reid says America is just as bad. Listen to this.
Our regime has secret police. They have secret police. Our regime is oppressing women, taking away abortion rights, taking away women's rights in like 26 states, some states where they're trying to have the death penalty for having an abortion. They also oppress women. They have the highest rate of women who are in STEM careers. We're kicking women out of the military, out of university. We're saying that DEI means women can't be hired for high positions in the sciences. We're marginally better, and we're doing it for Christianity. They're doing it for Islam, right? Yeah. So it's like we don't get told those things because it would take away the kind of American exceptionalism narrative.
She just said, comparing Iran and America, Joy Reid just said that America is only marginally better than Iran. Does anyone believe that? Now, I suppose I can understand why a liberal woman would get angry because she doesn't believe that the life inside of her is actually a human being and she wants to be able to kill it. And in some states, you're unable to do that now. You know, to hell with those human rights. But what else is she talking about? That we believe in a merit-based system by which you should be judged by your abilities, not by the color of your skin. DEI is the very opposite of the way that she described it. I mean, we're taking away DEI because we don't want people to be jumped by other people who are less qualified based on their color or their sex or ethnicity or whatever. We want that concept that Martin Luther King so eloquently discussed of an America that judges individuals based on the content of their character, not on the color of their skin or their gender, however many genders there might be, Joy. But just on its face, I would hope that Joy would go over. You know what you can't do, Joy? You can't show off that bleached blonde hair in Iran and get away with it. They'll make you cover that crap, ma'am. And oh, by the way, you'll speak when you're allowed to speak, and you'll go where you're allowed to go, and you better go with a man, because if you don't, you'll be stoned, beaten, or killed. 53 after the hour on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Hello, it's Matt Murphy here, and I want to talk to you about this incredibly realistic training that I just went through at the Glock store. Shoot 270 has their indoor ranges, and you can get one-on-one instruction with private shooting rooms, low light, no light, monthly home defense drills. Well, now they've taken it up a notch, and I went through this, and I could not more strongly recommend force-on-force simunition exercise, which starts March 21st. That is less than a week from now. In Force on Force, you are thrust into a simulated situation where deadly force may well be necessary to save your life or someone else's life. I went through this, and I don't want to tell you a lot about the exercise, because not knowing what you're getting into is part of it, because that's what life is about. But I'll say this. You're armed with a Glock 17T, which is used to train SWAT and U.S. Special Forces. You use your reflexes, marksmanship. You have to make split-second decisions in a realistic life-or-death live-action simulation. Now, I'm proud to tell you that through my training at the Glock store, and I've done lots of training with Mitch and the team at the Glock store, I neutralized the threat right there between the eyeballs, took care of that business without loss of life or limb. I asked Mitch, I said, what would have happened if I had missed? He said, I would have killed you. Simulated, obviously. Go to shoot270.com and click on training and then classes. Shoot270.com, training then classes. You need to sign up for this. This is going to sell out, and it's going to be an exciting few days when they launch this simunition exercise, force on force, at the one and only Glock store, shoot270.com.
Hey, this is Pastor Allen. Join us on Super Talk 99.7, Sunday evenings from 7 to 8. We're going to look at the news from a biblical perspective.